what's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to NorCal Sports Network. Got Los here with myself, Eric. Dan will be joining us here shortly. He's finishing watching up the Warriors and Lakers game. I guess they're in double overtime, right? Something like that.
'Twas the night before the NFC Championship, and all through the land, this Warrior game is completely out of hand.
Oh my God, Los is coming in with rhymes.
Yeah, I can spit a little bit when I need to, but
nice.
Yeah, that Warrior game will not end, man. So I know people are watching that, but we'll carry it.
Nice. I see a set of regulars. You got Jim, you got Aaron, Spencer, Will, Lou Marston. You got a new guy in there, CarCast, 49ers Talk Podcast. Hey, welcome. Appreciate you joining the show.
Yeah. Thanks for coming, Car. Appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly. Today we're going to get into the NFC Championship game between your San Francisco 49ers and the Detroit Lions. Should be a fun one. I guess before we can get into that, you want to talk maybe a little bit about the AFC before Dan shows up?
Yeah, we could definitely do that. Man, I've gone back and forth on this AFC game. Like every time I want to just think that it's the Ravens' year and everything's lined up for them. I keep hearing that phrase. It's lined up. It's lined up. Nothing is lined up. That's why they play the game. You know, at the end of the day, Baltimore has the better team. But Kansas City might have the better quarterback, and that's saying a lot with Lamar Jackson maybe being the MVP this year, but he's not proven in the playoffs, and Mr. Mahomes is.
Yes, so, the whole team, right? The whole of Kansas City, they've been there before. The team
has been in this situation before, as have the Niners in their situation, but all that is out the window. It's, you know, it's not who's better or who has more experience. It's bottom line, who's going to play better tomorrow for 3.5 headers? Who's going to have a better game plan on the coaching side? And that's what it's going to come down to. So, you know, football, the analysis is overwhelming all week. You know, it's not like basketball that play every day or every other day. It's all week. You got to hear from everybody in the country, everybody across the world that has an opinion about this and about that. So here we go, man. 24 hours before kickoff. It's time to lace them up and play the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I like what you say about that. That's one thing about football. There's so much time in between each game. Kind of course, we're like in the NFC Championship, so it's even more so. You got so much time to just break down so many different. I mean, there's only so much you can talk about, but you know, there's things out there to discuss. It seems like every day there's a new type of storyline, which is unique. Baseball a little bit different. You know, it's every day. It's hard to really digest one game. You could digest the series. You know, you could do that, but yeah, football, man, I tell you, it gets people's blood going. That is no joke.
It's funny you mentioned that. Like when we talk rivalries, you know, there's nothing probably bigger than soccer rivalries. I mean, you don't see it much here in the States, but when you start getting into soccer rivalries, you're talking country versus country sometimes, or that takes it to a whole nother level. But probably in second place is football.
You ain't lying. On this.
I mean, how many times have you seen a video on social media about a fight breaking out at a baseball game?
Yeah, you don't hardly ever see, unless it's Yasiel Puig.
Yeah, or at a basketball game. Not much, but at a football game, you know, you get them drinks going, tailgating before the game, during the game, people start talking shit. And all of a sudden you got 6 guys against 8 guys throwing it down in the stands. Fat Eagle fans. I don't know if you've seen the real heavy Eagle fan that got punched and he rolled down the stairs.
Oh.
He was probably pushing 400 pounds.
Oh, my God.
Everybody's got a phone and a camera. So, yeah, you're right. Football pushes those emotions to a real high level. And, you know, the whole country, much less the whole world, is pulling for the Lions.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, that's not a surprise. They've never been to a Super Bowl. They've been, you know, like the Cubs were, lovable losers for the longest period of time, and now here they are on the cusp of the Super Bowl. So, you know, Niner fans got to understand we're the villain. We're the dark side.
It's the Cinderella story. It's because they've never been there before. So that's going to invoke. You know how it is. It's the whole underdog thing. America loves a big underdog. But to your point about the soccer, I was stationed in Germany during the World Cup.
Ooh.
And I was at a NATO base. So here we are. I'm working with a bunch of Germans, Belgians, Dutch, Italians. You want to talk about them getting into holy crap, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they bring up like stuff from World War II up. This is back in this is between 2008 and 2010. It was insane.
Oh, big time intensity right there.
But yeah, football kind of relates as far as the intensity, like you said. And you may I tweeted out that what was that Pro Fantasy Sports, where 66% of the people want the Lions to win. And again, I think it just goes to the whole, hey, they've never been there before. My team's not in it, so I'm going to root for them. Maybe it's a lot of Dallas fans, maybe.
Oh, yeah. You got Dallas fans that are pulling against the Niners, Eagle fans pulling against the Niners, Rams, Seahawks. Yeah, who else? I mean, there's a lot of fan bases that can't stand the Niners. I mean,
right.
When the Niners have whooped your ass, of course you're going to hate them. So you're going to be pulling. They can't wait to hit send on their keyboard to say, you guys suck, you lost. They can't wait to push that because that's what they do.
Exactly.
That's why I call us Aaron lost on the chat. That's why I call the Niners the villains. They're not necessarily the bad guys, but they're not the supported team across the country, compared to the Lions. A lot of people want to see, even people that are neutral fans that don't care either way, they want to see Detroit go just because they're a good story. They don't want to see the Niners go. So that's why I say that the Niners are the villains in this case. And that's okay. We'll be the dark side. We'll let Lord Vader prevail and take down the Reliance, so to speak.
And if that's the case, then roll with it. Do that. Like maybe use that as a storyline. Use Vader because everyone loves Vader, even though he's a bad guy. Everyone loves Vader. But yeah. I mean, why not?
Well,
might as well embrace it.
When the Niners played the Eagles, there was a video of all their players coming in black, and they were just like, man, they were just like ready. They were just like all business. Like I hope they come wearing black tomorrow and just come with the.
You know what? Why not get someone dressed? Why not get someone dressed up in Vader, and have them come out with the team? That would be lined up with stormtroopers. Oh man, that would be awesome, man. You get a bunch of stormtroopers on each side with freaking Vader coming out, and then he points to the tunnel, and then here comes the team. That would be awesome. I think that would be cool.
Sick. That would be sick, no doubt. So yeah, as far as the AFC game goes, I think my final answer is gonna be I think KC's gonna find a way. I don't know how, but they're gonna hang around and Mahomes is gonna make a play late. So
you don't think that Mark Andrews makes a difference for the Ravens, or does
I gotta see how rusty he is coming back from that injury, but he is a huge factor. And their other tight end likely is really nice too. So yeah, that's another weapon for Lamar to make plays on. So I don't know. I haven't checked what the weather's going to be like, but
I didn't. Yeah, back east.
It obviously doesn't affect Mahomes because he's played in 2 straight really cold games and played really well.
Yeah, exactly. And it has an effect. I'm guessing Pacheco is probably going to play a big point in this because, the Ravens defense. What's stronger for Ravens? I'm not so good on the Ravens defense. Is it the run defense or a pass, or is it just well rounded?
On paper, statistically, they're better against the pass. And that's why when the Niners played them, it was a very strange game plan by Shanahan to try to throw on them because their weakness was the running game, or defending the run, I should say. And then last week, Green Bay is better against the pass than they are the run. And again, Shanahan passed. So little bit strange game plans going against teams' strengths and not attacking their weaknesses. Tomorrow, the Lions are better against the run than they are the pass. So if we're true to form, Shanahan's going to go the opposite way and attack their strength, not their weakness. I hope not. I hope he has balance, and I hope he gets back to McCaffrey carrying the ball, running play action, moving the pocket, and not having a vanilla game plan, because that drives me crazy about Shanahan that he does sometimes in these big games. I want to see the offense open up. It's not going to rain tomorrow. Weather's going to be nice. So
it's going to be beautiful.
No restrictions, no holds barred. This is for the Super Bowl. Let it all hang out. I want to see the game plan that he used against Dallas and against Philadelphia. Wide open, jet sweeps, misdirections, play action. Don't be surprised if McCaffrey comes out and throws a touchdown pass. Yes, I'm calling it. There's going to be
little razzle-dazzle.
I think Shanahan might have a trick play up his sleeve because he's heard all week that he's the conservative one, which he is. And Dan Campbell is Mr. Aggressive, Mr. I'm going to do anything to win. So Shanahan's a very prideful and a very sensitive
Interesting.
guy. So
But
he's hearing all that noise, and I think he might do
Has he
something
been
about
hearing
it.
that noise for a long time, though, him being conservative?
He has, and that's a good point. Maybe he doesn't give a crap, and he's just going to stay that way, stubborn. That's one of his characteristics is he is quite stubborn to not change off of it. So maybe he stays that way. I don't know.
Here's a question I never even got to really in the post game stuff that we did with against the Green Bay. Do you think the way Shanahan coached that game was just as much a detriment as it was with the field or the play that happened on the field?
Absolutely.
Because I mean, I remember he came out and you even said that. Well, I think we both said it on text right after it happened. It's like, what is the deal with the first play in the second half? It's a keeper for Brock. It didn't make any sense, you know. It just and how the first half ended was just like what?
I
don't know.
I think the game plan was very heavily going to go towards Debo, and once he got hurt,
it messed everything up.
I always joke around that Shanahan has like a script, like he's not somebody that can go off of script and freestyle.
Gotcha.
He can't just come to his mind like I did at the start of the show and come up with a rhyme. He has to write it down and memorize it, and then he has to read it. And when you take his notes away, he's like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do? I have to change. I have to go to option B. So he has to be ready for things like that. People get hurt. Like McCaffrey could get hurt tomorrow. Heaven forbid. Hope it doesn't happen. But you've got to be ready and know, okay, I'm going to go to Elijah Mitchell, who is very capable of being a solid back. So, yeah, that was a big part of last week. It was a lot of things combined. I think Purdy was rusty. Remember, he wasn't off 2 weeks. He was off basically 3 weeks.
Right.
He was off. He does not throw in wet weather. It's obvious. And Green Bay had a good game plan, and Shannon's game plan himself wasn't that good. And they still found a way to win, which is very encouraging. I think the Niners will play a better game tomorrow. They're going to need to. If they play like they did last week, Detroit's going to beat them. Detroit's hungry, and their coach is going to do whatever it takes to win. So Niners got to be on their game, man. Doesn't have to be their A game, but it can't be less than, let's say, a B+.
Exactly. Our new guy here, Carcast, says a couple of things. He says Detroit has a well-rounded defense. They have talent on all three levels on that defense. Says they're second against the run and that they're 20th against the pass. So
yeah, the stats say that. Their run defense is a little misleading, though, Carcast, I would say, because they may be second in total yards given up, but they give up a lot of yards average per play, which means that teams are running against them. But I think because Detroit has such a high-powered offense, they get behind and they don't run as much. So they have to throw a lot on them. That's why the statistics maybe make the defense look a little bit worse than it is and makes their run defense look better than it is. I watched, last week, Tampa Bay's running back, Rashard White. He's pretty good. He's not a McCaffrey. He was averaging about 5.7 yards a carry. So if you stay with the running game, I think you can run on Detroit. They have three really good defenders. Hutchinson's one, their their defensive tackle, and then Chauncey Gardner, their safety. The rest of their players, they're okay. They're nothing great. So I think the Niners can run on them. I think the Niners can do what they want against them, to be honest. I could see a 30 to 37 point game.
That's what I was just going to Yeah, I think it might be high scoring because I think both defenses are kind of so the Niners defense last week was just atrocious. I thought they would come out strong having that time off, but they looked
I think we all thought that they would be rested and all these little nicks and bruises that you have in a long year like this would allow them to play fast and fresh, and they just did not play very well. Green Bay, to their credit, had a great game plan. They chipped the defensive ends. And for all the talk about Bosa not playing well, he actually played a pretty decent game if you watch it back on the film. He made some plays, and he was getting doubled a lot. The guys that need to step up are Hargrave and Chase Young and Armstead up the middle.
Because those guys should have been freed up if they're double teaming Bosa.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
Jared Goff is not mobile. He's a statue. If you get pressure up the middle on him, he tends to get a little bit rattled. So Detroit's strength are their offensive tackles on the outside. So that's going to be hard for Bosa and Young to get any pressure. So that means Hargrave and Kinlaw are going to have to get it up the middle. And if they're not getting, and hey, this is a shout out to Shanahan and defensive coordinator Steve Wilks. If you are not getting there with pressure with 4 guys, do something else. It's okay to blitz a linebacker, Warner, or Greenlaw, or both of them up the middle. I'm not saying every play. I'm saying don't be predictable. Don't just rush 4 guys the whole game, because sometimes the Niners get into that little trap of doing that, and the offense just knows what they're doing. So it's predictable to pick apart. You got to shake things up, and it's the same thing on offense. You got to have balance and shake things up. You cannot be predictable.
Who are you worried about the most on the offensive side of the Lions? Because you got 3 guys out there. You got Gibbs, Montgomery, I'll say 4. Amon St. Brown, and then you got Laporta. I mean, because you could. That's one thing with Goff. He could dump it off if he gets that pressure, right?
Yeah, their 3 studs are Gibbs, Laporta, and St. Brown.
Yeah.
I'm scared of Gibbs. Gibbs can go to the house every play. He's that good. And do you remember in the middle of the season, the Niners were having a hard time defending the screen pass?
You see that
me.
coming? You see it coming now?
I see a lot of screens to Gibbs, and if they don't clean that up a little bit, that's going to break for a big play. So Gibbs has 4.3 speed. He gets to the outside even better than Aaron Jones did last week. So the Niners got to set the edge and contain him. First down is so key, because if Detroit does what Green Bay did last week and they get 4, 5, 6 yards on first down every time, and they're in 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5, they're going to have a field day, because then their play action is going to be able to work and they'll be able to have these long drives. They need to, shut that running game down on play 1, get them, no more than 2 yards. So it's going to be a chess game back and forth. I don't think the Niners are going to blow them out. Detroit is very good. They're very hungry. They don't play as good on grass as they do in that dome with perfect conditions. That's been proven. But
me and Dan looked at the away games, and Detroit's done well against teams that have grass. Yeah. They've only lost 2 on the road. I think it was Dallas and the Bears. All the other road games they won. So they
beat Kansas City opening night. They're not quite as efficient as they and they were at home the last 2 games at home in the dome. So Levi's can get loud. Surprisingly. So Levi's has got to bring it. If you're going to the game tomorrow, be as loud as you can. Don't worry about not having a voice Monday for work. You don't get to these games very often. So be loud, disrupt the offense, make them hard to hear so they can check off and things like that. You need that home field advantage for sure. A lot of Detroit fans are going to be there from what I see.
Oh, that's good for them.
Yeah.
How many times have they seen their team go to the championship game?
That's why they're
When was the last time?
Oh, the last time they were
it wasn't even in the century.
Was 1983, I want to say.
Yeah, it wasn't even in this century. Wow.
It was a while ago. But yeah, it's a good story, but hopefully it ends tomorrow. Next year, maybe, or maybe 3 years from now. I don't know. But Detroit's got a nice squad. I just think Goff, like all week long, I've heard about Purdy being the weakness. God, it's hard to believe that America, who loves an underdog story most of the time, they don't like this underdog story for some reason. That guy, he's not boisterous. He's not arrogant. He's not flashy. He's very respectful, very humble kid. Just comes in and does his job. And he has one bad game, and the national writers are all over him. And nothing will give Niner fans more satisfaction than see him holding the trophy in 2 weeks. That would be off the charts.
Hey, how about this? Not necessarily. What's up, Dan? Not necessarily player related. How about the who's going to win the battle of the coaches between Shanahan and Dan Campbell? You take away the win of just who's gonna coach their team the best, you think?
Well, Dan, I'll let you answer that one first.
Well, Well, I'll just say this: Campbell will probably be the more aggressive because he's hard to outdo when it comes to aggressiveness. He's the kind of guy that'll go, fourth down all the time. Doesn't matter where he's at on the field, fake punt. But I think Kyle will be more aggressive tomorrow. I think he's
more
going to
aggressive.
know that this is his time. In fact, I just got done, as you guys probably aware, watching the dang Warriors. I had it all typed up to put in the chat. In fact, I didn't even send it. It's still there. Warriors win. Warriors win. And it didn't get sent because they didn't win. They went up on a beautiful 3-point shot from Curry, top of the key between the circles, a bomb. Beautiful screen. Could have been an offensive foul by Green, legal screen, but they didn't call it. Curry hits it, and then LeBron. I thought LeBron was going to miss one of 2 free throws. I did. He doesn't always hit his free throws. And he made them both with a 1.2. And then Pajimski, I don't know what he's thinking. I mean, it was a long shot, but he just throws the ball into Curry. Dumb rookie mistake. You had no timeouts. You're going to make Curry make an 80-foot shot? Throw it down the court. It's your only shot. Throw it past half court and see if you can get a guy that can get up at least a decent shot or maybe get fouled. But, man, tell you what, tomorrow the Niners have to win for the Bay Area. When the Warriors were at their best, 2014, Giants were winning a World Series. Then they won another title in 16 it was the 14-15 season. And then the 16, 17, 17, 18. Giants were just coming down. Niners were not any good in 16 and 17. In fact, that was the year. That was Kyle's first year, 17. So the 49ers have to get it done tomorrow because the Bay Area other teams are falling apart.
Hey, Dan, real quick, to ask you about being aggressive, is Shanahan going to be aggressive as far as his normal way he goes about it, or is he going to be more aggressive than Dan Campbell?
He's not going to be more aggressive than Dan Campbell.
Okay, no. He's just going to be more aggressive than what he's normally.
He's going to have to be a little more aggressive. I mean, look, you could throw the ball on the Lions. They've given up like 300-400 yards their last five games to teams. There's holes in the secondary. Kyle's great at exploiting holes and getting guys open. There'll be guys open down the field tomorrow. But what he's got to also do is he's got to not just go one-dimensional. He's got to, be able to run the ball. But it may be a game where he comes out throwing to try and soften him up for the run. I don't know. There's going to be, lots of back and forth, but I feel okay about this game tomorrow.
We have a special guest coming here live on NorCal Sports Network, straight from Arizona. May be retired, may not be. It's Brandon Crawford. Look at that. What's up, Brandon?
How you guys doing?
Man, with that headband, you look just like him.
Speaking of Brandon Crawford, my neighbor was flying to San Jose tonight. He said Brandon Crawford was on the plane with his wife.
Probably going to the game.
Or he's going to the 49er game. Yeah, he lives in Scottsdale. So
yeah, I was just in Phoenix I took a flight from Kansas to Phoenix, then Phoenix to Orange County. I just touched down.
Oh,
nice.
Cool.
Wow, nice. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Crawford, he's going to the game. And I mean, this was I'm still like the last 2 nights we've come on here after a Warrior game, 2 1-point losses.
That's right.
Just frustrating losses.
You got to break another pencil, Dan.
Lakers always have their number. Recently
they get to the free throw line.
They get so many to free throw line.
A lot of those free throws are gifts too.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'll tell you that was one heck of a game to watch, though. That was one entertaining game. I thought it was going triple overtime. I thought for sure LeBron James would miss one or two.
Yeah, we would have been about an hour into the show. I was like, damn, Dan still isn't in here. Look on my phone. Oh, the Warriors are in overtime number 6.
Yeah, I would have stayed too. Yeah, I would have stayed. Hold on here. Let me get
Been a
my.
frustrating year for the
It
Warriors.
is a frustrating. I mean, that was a big loss because there were 2 behind the Lakers. You know, they need to catch. They need to, get into the play-in. They're not getting into the top 6. They have no shot, I don't think. But they can't, just get into the 10 spot. If you get into that 10 spot, anything can happen. So we'll see.
So, Bora, we've been talking, kind of breaking this game down tomorrow, and I was telling everybody in the chat about, Jared Goff. If you get some pressure up the middle on him, man, he gets flustered pretty easily. I don't think they're going to get a lot of pressure from the outside because their tackles are pretty dominant. It's going to have to be Hargrave and Armstead getting up the middle. And what do you think about this idea? This is outside the box type of thinking that I think you need to do sometimes in big games like this. Why not move Nick Bosa once in a while, especially on passing situations?
Next to Hargrave.
Why not move him inside?
Yep.
Why not move him to D tackle? He is very strong and he's pretty fast. So if your best pass rusher is Nick Bosa and Javon Hargrave, then why not match them up against their 2 weakest players, which is their guards? Their tackles are
well. How about that second guard, the backup?
He's playing in his first game. He's completely raw. I'm not saying playing him every down. I'm saying on passing situations, move him inside and let him go to work on there. Because Bosa against what's his name? Who's the big tackle? Sewell. Thank you. Yeah, that's a stalemate. Sewell's really, really good and really big.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think there was something that I saw on Twitter today. It was like since the Niners have gotten Chase Young, Nick Bosa hasn't lined up over the nose or at the nose tackle position over the center. Or there was something like that. And that's just such a good matchup. Even with Frank Ragnow, who's like one of the best centers in the league. He's injured. He is decimated with injuries. And he's still going to be playing. He's probably going to be playing at a high level. But but I'd take Bosa in that situation. I just want to see some stunts. Get creative with something, because this offensive line is really good.
Yes.
And on paper, your defensive line is good. But it hasn't really been producing. They haven't been getting the sacks. They've been getting the pressures and the quarterback hits and the PFF grades, but it's what can you do, and can you get sacks? Because at the end of the day, that's what you need, sacks. And I think last week, Jordan Love was sort of was a mismatch for them. He's mobile. He's able to extend the plays and move outside the pocket. Jared Goff is not mobile at all. He is a statue and he is not agile. I'm sure you guys saw him against the Rams try to escape out of the pocket and throw a backwards pass with 2 hands to his tight end while getting sacked. It's just once he gets pressured, his mental state of mind is just not clear. He really gets flustered easily. I think that's one of the key to the games. The other key to the game is being able to stop that run.
Yep.
That run game is lethal with Gibbs and Montgomery. Gibbs is one of the most elusive backs in the league, and he is just super explosive. He is the future all-pro running back. He reminds me of Christian McCaffrey. In a lot of ways. He's the check down guy, right? If in a passing situation, he's the guy that Jared Goff can go to if everyone's covered to get that 5-yard check down and just do work. And the Niners have had trouble breaking or the Niners have had trouble with missed tackles this year from their linebackers and secondary. So I think that's a key. But I mean, being able to stop Gibbs is the number one priority, I think. Because I like Ward against St. Brown. I don't think, and the Lions don't pass, they don't throw it deep too much.
Not much.
So I like Ward to be able to shadow and move around with St. Brown, and not necessarily shut him down, but hold him to a respectable game. Gibbs is the guy that you have to stop. You have to put all your marbles into Gibbs.
I was saying earlier in the show that the Niners had a stretch this year where they were having a hard time defending the running back screen, not the wide receiver bubble screen, just the basic old school running back screen
and tight end screen end screen.
I hope they clean that up, because if Gibbs gets the screen and he's got blockers in front, that's gonna go some distance. So Niners have their hands full, and that's why it's so important that their offense be at their A game, because the Niners are not going to completely shut down Detroit. I think they can hold them to 20, 24. That means the Niners have to be in the high 20s or 30s to win this game. So, as in all these big games, every possession and every play is crucial and important. Got to minimize the penalties. And what I think Detroit's O-line is going to double Hargrave, because he's the bigger pass rushing threat. Armstead is still kind of coming back from an injury. I don't know if he's 100%. He's a good, not a great pass rusher. And then they're just going to leave their tackles one-on-one and trust them, Sewell and Decker. Chase Young has not really done much. Let's be real. He's not the 49er.
Cleveland Farrell now is on IR.
Kind of a sneaky loss, for sure.
Yeah, he's not even going to be available if they win tomorrow in the Super Bowl. I was kind of surprised. They acted like it was just Larry interviewed him after the Rams game, and Farrell was basically saying, yeah, if that was a Super Bowl, I would have stayed out there. It's like no big deal. They said he was going to miss one game. Now he's had surgery. So I don't know what was the deal. Was it a meniscus, or what they say it was?
Yeah,
I don't know. It was something with the knee, but I think Shanahan said that they were contemplating surgery and they were trying to put it off, but I think he ended up having to get surgery.
Yeah, exactly. So, because Farrell played well. He was.
He's not a flashy guy, but he can set the edge and stop the run, and that's something that they missed with Ebukam. Ebukam was that guy last year, and they need to fill that void. Chase Young was getting blocked by receivers last week.
What if you'll see
as big as Chase Young is, as strong as Chase Young is? How does that happen? That's hard to believe.
I wonder if they put him on. Well, obviously they put him on IR to free up a spot. Is that going to be Robert Beal tomorrow, maybe? Or
I was just going to mention Mr. Beal, that the Niners have a little sleeper, but we all know that they don't exactly trust their young guys. But I think on 3rd and long, I would like to see Robert Beal in there, maybe a few plays over Chase Young. Why? Robert Beal runs a 4.4, and he's 255 pounds. He is extremely fast, and none of the Niners pass rushers are fast. They're all power bull rushers, so they're not going to beat the guy off of quickness. The Niners have one guy that's fast. Why not use him? I'm not saying he needs to play and start and have 30, 35 plays. But when it's 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, I want to see Bill come in, do a little stunt.
Yeah. And speaking of, the other guys, what happened to Drake Jackson this year? He just disappeared.
He's on IR. He
had surgery.
He's on the IR, yeah.
He had 3 sacks. He had 3 sacks opening game. He ruined me and Boris Pittsburgh pick.
I didn't realize he was on. They put him on IR.
I remember that, man.
I do remember now he was on IR, but I didn't remember.
He put a picture out there a couple of weeks ago.
Man, he's been on
surgery on his knee.
Jeez.
I think another thing to think about is Armstead is going to be playing more this week than he did last week. I think last week he was on a little bit of a pitch count. You saw a lot of Sebastian Joseph Day, 69.
Right.
He was on the field for a good amount of time, and he's not the run stopper player that Armstead is at all. I think part of their run defense issues last week were the fact that Armstead hadn't played too much. But I think their run defense hasn't been great all season long. They've just gotten ahead, and it's the other teams had to pass. But the numbers, the total numbers are pretty good, but the yards per carry were like pretty average to mediocre. So it's sort of been a silent issue throughout the whole season. And now in the playoffs, I mean, you're facing one of the best rushing teams in the league against the Lions. So I mean, I think that's just the main thing that you got to stop. That's the key to the game. If you can stop their run game, or at least hold them to a respectable number, then I think you can win this game pretty easily. Because I just don't trust Jared Goff to come back from behind against this Niners defense, and just as the quarterback he is. He's had a good year, but he is sort of the definition of a system quarterback. He can run the system. He has to have a good O-line. He has to have some good weapons, and he just dumps it off, and he plays the game manager role, and he does that well. That's nothing on him. But I mean, if he is put in a spot where he's had to drop back and pass 40 to 45 times, I just don't think he's the type of quarterback to be able to carry a team. I mean, you saw that in 2018 or 17, that duel with Mahomes.
CarCast 49ers Talk podcast says thoughts on Logan Ryan's first start last week against the Packers.
Jair Brown will be starting.
I hope so. I mean, that angle he took on Aaron Jones' 53-yard run was pathetic. I mean, you got to come in as a DB. You got to come in and break down, and be ready to go this way or this way. He comes in like this, and Jones just goes, cuts right by him.
Almost like he was avoiding the contact. Like
exactly.
He didn't want to have a big hit. We can't have that. So,
I was like shocked when I saw that, because I'm like, you rarely see guys at that level, take angles like that. I mean,
yeah. He's the play it safe guy. He's the guy. He's the Kyle. I mean, Kyle likes to play it safe. He likes to do it conservative. He doesn't like to take risk. I mean, Jair Brown is the bigger risk, bigger reward.
Yeah.
And that's. I mean, in the playoffs, you kind of have to do that. You got to take some risks.
I don't know what Kyle's mindset has been. The conservatism around here in this Bay Area when it comes to young players. I mean, Kerr doesn't play young guys.
The Giants
don't. Kyle doesn't.
Kerr doesn't. Yeah.
So
if you're a professional, about to be a professional athlete, you don't want to be drafted by. I don't know how the Sharks. Is Robert Boyd in the chat? Robert, do the Sharks play young guys? I don't know. They might be the only. I know the A's play young guys. They have no choice.
There's
a area team.
The A's. They got Alex Wood signing with the A's.
I can't wait till Alex Wood rips the Giants in when he's in an A's uniform at some point. But hey, CarCast, right on for coming in on the invite, man. You're on fire. You are on fire.
Yeah, he's done well. A lot of good comments out there.
Logan Ryan, you need to sit, bro. Like, I don't care about your experience.
Yeah, Wilkes was non-committal. I think he
posted something on his Instagram.
On his Instagram, he says we got back to action. So I think Brown will be back.
Yeah, I'd assume he's starting. And that they need him to start because he's the. I mean, what did he have? He had like 2 interceptions, right? This whole season, he played like half the year or something. Logan Ryan's just the safe guy. The big guy that scares me on that back seven is Ambry Thomas.
Tell me what you guys think of this. Oren Burks is banged up. I don't think he's going to play. He's their
shoulder this week in practice.
He's supposedly their third linebacker. So if he doesn't play, not a big Flanagan Foles guy. I think he's just a special teamer. So if you're Steve Wilkes, you have an extra player.
Yeah, play a 3 safety set.
Do you play an extra DB and go 5 DBs? Or this is what I'd like to do. Or do you go 5 defensive linemen? because the Niners have played 5 defensive linemen this year before, and it's worked pretty well. You throw Kinlaw in there next to Armstead and next to Hargrave, guess what? Detroit can't double team anybody anymore. It's one-on-one. What does the Niners have to stop? Detroit's running game. Use a 5-man line. I would
The only
rather
thing I worry about that with if you put Hargrave next to and Kinlaw is Gibbs on the edge. You know, that puts some
that's where maybe the edges even go out a little bit wider.
wide 10.
Yeah.
Go from the wide 9 to the wide 10.
Go from the wide 9 to the wide 10. Again, like I bring it up, I don't think they're going to use a third linebacker. It's going to be Greenlaw and Warner, playing practically every snap. So do you give that extra spot to a secondary guy, or do you give it to a D line guy? I mean, you're going to mix and match, but I'm thinking D line. Bor, I think, wants to go.
I would like to see more nickel use. Diamador Lenore is, he's their slot nickel corner. He's developing into a really good corner. His physicality is really strong. You saw it for a couple like back-to-back plays versus the Packers. He had the hit on Jordan Love. Then there was the screen where he broke up. Then he had a run stop on Aaron Jones. He is a player, and you have to get him on the field because you got to play your best players.
Let me ask you this question: what do you do if you're in the game and even first half, Ambry Thomas has got pass interference, another PI, and they're picking on him? What do you do?
Take him out.
Are you gonna That's okay. That's what I want to know. Who are you gonna put in? Because
move Lenore to the outside, and hopefully Sam Womack is ready to go and put him inside. Because I don't want to.
Womack, you'd rather have Womack obviously than Oliver. Okay, that's what I was getting at. So
St. Brown is in the slot, and Womack's faster. He'll eat Oliver's lunch if he plays.
Right. Yeah. So you bring So you're going to bring in Womack into the slot, and then you're going to move Lenore out to the corner. I think the only other corner available besides if Womack's active, he wasn't even active last week.
Yeah, he might not even be active. What
is Luter, right?
Yeah, Luter.
You got Luter. I think JV Justin Verrett they were grooming him for eventually to be ready for this type of a game. If Thomas was not going to be
that
showing up,
cannot stay healthy. Yeah,
that's just unbelievable. The guy. Everything happens to that guy. It's just like, man.
I don't think they're going to have Luter.
Well, it's either Luter or Womack. I don't think they're both active.
I don't think they're even going to play Luter or Womack. I think it's going to be Isaiah Oliver because, you've seen it. They went with Logan Ryan last week. They're going to go with the vet. It's just what they're going to do, and it's their history. It's what Kyle does. I guess it's what Wilk does. It's just they trust the vets.
Yeah, that could backfire. Let's just hope Ambry Thomas.
I am really scared of the deep bomb to Jameson Williams on Ambry Thomas.
Jameson Williams is going to have some plays against Ambry because they're watching the film scene when he's beat that he's going to grab and he's going to get a penalty.
Exactly.
Williams is fast as hell.
The problem with Ambry Thomas is he's always in position. He just can't get his head around, and he can't. He just gets flustered in the moment, and he just puts his hand on the receiver. It's just.
Yeah,
I don't even know if that's teachable. Like, it just might be a mentality thing. It's like, it's something with his psyche, maybe. I don't know what you can do about that because he's always in position. He's always in position. He's not getting burnt. He's not getting beat deep. It's just it's at the catch point.
Yeah. I'll answer Lydia's question since she's asking for her questions to be answered. I have watched a lot of Niner film, and I agree with you. I think Purdy could do a little bit better of a job when nobody's open and taking off and running for a first down. I see this openings. They're not even playing him for the run. He's not Jimmy Garoppolo. He can actually move.
Right.
I don't know if Kyle's in his ear saying, you better not run. Go to your third, go to your fourth read. Because sometimes on a play, the defense wins.
I hope Kyle will just say, just play.
Play the game. Exactly.
Play the game. Don't try and overthink it, man.
Yeah.
That's what guys, when you just naturally go out there and you just kind of, you got to think. I mean, you can't just be running and running and running and thinking like I'm going to make it and the guys close these gaps. But you got to, if you see something that you can, if you can get the first down or get close to the first down and get down slide and you got that, just take it.
Yeah.
I mean, you see Mahomes do it all the time, Josh Allen. And I know Purdy's not those guys, but like you said, Los, there are times when lanes are open. And a lot of times lanes are open intentionally because they leave them open because, the way the patterns run, they take those guys out of the, and there's a lane to take. But, I think Purdy's having a big day tomorrow. I really do.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a comeback game. Yeah.
I think it's going to be really nice weather. I haven't checked it since yesterday, but as of yesterday, it was supposed to be 73.
Right? Yeah.
Let's see what it is right now, what the forecast is for tomorrow. Open it up here. Let's see.
I mean, to add to your point while you're looking that up, Dan, is you got to think about this. The Niners have an offense that has McCaffrey, Debo, Ayuk, Jennings, Kittle. If you're playing man-to-man and you're playing all these guys and running with them, if the offensive line opens up even a little bit of a seam, there's nobody there to stop Brock from running. I'm not saying turn into Lamar Jackson. I'm saying on very crucial 3rd and 5s, instead of trying to squeeze it in where it's really tight. I mean, you saw late in the game last week, he threw a ball to Kittle. It was a perfect ball, and Kittle dropped it. I mean, at the end of the day, like if you run, that's almost a guarantee if there's a wide open. It's guaranteed that you're not going to trip over the 35, 40-yard line or whatever. You're going to get a first down. So one of the biggest plays in the game was Purdy scrambling at the end of the game for about 11, 12 yards. Again, I'm not saying.
Oh, yeah, he got from the 15 to the 6.
If Kyle ran bootlegs, like if there's a crucial play in the game and he fakes the ball to Purdy going right and he keeps it going left, I guarantee he will walk in for a touchdown or he'll get 5 or 6 yards. Nobody's going with Purdy. So that would take the offense to a whole nother level. Again, just doing it when you need to do it on 3rd downs to get the first down, because 3rd down is going to be huge tomorrow to stop it and to get it on offense.
Yeah, the actual weather tomorrow, it's pretty nice, 73-ish. Probably won't get below 65 the whole game. Winds at only like 4 miles per hour. I mean, they just
perfect game
they dodged
for
the bullet.
to have a big game.
Dodged the bullet. A few days. Wednesday's supposed to be rainy and 16-mile-per-hour winds, and the Niners. They got to seriously consider, if they get into the playoffs with Purdy in the future, and it's a bad rainy game, you either got to Kyle get him ready by practicing with a wet ball, and if he can't do it in practice, you may have to look at saying, you know what, he just can't throw a wet ball. We got to come up with our backup, because you can't have that happen ever again in a playoff game with those consequences. I mean, the magnitude of a game like that where your quarterback can't throw the ball.
Wouldn't that be interesting in negotiations when Purdy's contract comes up, that ownership is like, well, we love you, man, you're a hell of a quarterback, but you can't throw in the rain. So would you take $30 million a year? And Purdy's agent, and they're going to say,
I'll tell you what, if they're going to pay Purdy, and they get to that $40 million that contract,
that's going to change the whole dynamic of the team.
I would not. If I'm Kyle next year, because Darnold's probably gone. Darnold's going to move on.
Please
I'm
don't
gonna-
bring Jimmy back as a backup.
No.
quarterback.
I'm
Please.
gonna draft a quarterback in the 3rd round,
Yeah, why not?
and I'm gonna find a guy that can learn under Purdy and that really can work the system and because the key to the Niners being able to have this type of explosive talent all over the field is because they have a guy on the contract he's on. I'm not going to pay. I'm telling you, unless Purdy wins the Super Bowl this year and then he comes back next year and does great, then maybe I pay him in that 4th year because he's only good for 4 years, right? And this is year 2, so next year is year 3.
And
then
after next
4?
year is going to be he's going to be up for a contract extension.
Yeah, I would not. I'm just saying, I don't think I would sign Purdy to a top of the league quarterback.
Can you highlight what Kyle just said?
Defer money. You can't
40
do
million
that.
contract. He's only getting paid $3 million.
Can't do that in the NFL, unfortunately. But no, I mean seriously, I would tend to call Purdy's bluff. I would offer him a contract in the 20s, high 20s, but no way am I paying. Plus, because what happens is you lose. We've seen what the offense is like without Debo.
You agree with a lot of people that say he's more or less a system quarterback?
I don't think he's a system. I think he's great in this system.
Yeah.
And I think he's a good quarterback, and I think he would do well in just about any system. But I also think if you put him on a lousy team, I don't think he's going to elevate everybody. I think Josh Allen can elevate people. I think Patrick Mahomes can elevate you to – I mean, look at Mahomes' weapons this year, Kansas City. I mean, there's not a receiver on that team other than Rice that really is, above average.
How about this for a wild trade? And I know Dan's ears will perk up because he loves trades. Niners win the Super Bowl. They're on top of the mountain.
Here it comes.
Everybody's value is a little bit higher. Buffalo lost again in the playoffs. Their fan base is pissed. What if Buffalo calls and says, give us Purdy and Bosa, we'll give you Josh Allen? Would you do it?
Yeah.
Josh Allen for Bosa and Purdy.
I mean,
money-wise, that works out well.
Buffalo would never do that, but I would take that in a heartbeat.
Take the money out of it. What about just as far as making a team better?
What if Buffalo asked for like a 2nd-round pick on top of it? They wouldn't do it. Josh Allen has not won in the playoffs. What are we, year 5 with him? So there's a little bit of desperation over there. You're getting Bosa. I'm just throwing it out there,
That sounds like a Dan trade.
Look at Dan. Look at the smile.
He's balking. No way.
Hey, coming from a guy that he took advantage of in fantasy football on trades. No, but I mean, you would do it, Bor. I think most Niner fans. I don't know. Is there anybody that would be against that? And
there's a few in the chat that said Lou says Josh hasn't proven he can win the big game. We'll see. I mean, that obviously that's just again fantasy talk. Never happen. But
right.
The things that never happen sometimes are just because people don't think big.
Whoa.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Steve Young. Interesting.
Yeah, that's Purdy's good, but he's not even on the same stratosphere as Josh Allen. I don't think. Yeah. Josh Allen can
CarCast says Purdy's the best quarterback since Montana over Steve Young. No.
Yeah, Steve's a Hall of Famer. If Steve had played here his whole career instead of those 4 or 5 years in Tampa, who knows what kind of numbers he would have had. But no, Steve Young is way up there.
Getting back to this Niners Lions game. The Lions pass defense isn't good. So I think that's somewhere where the Niners should be able to exploit. But their run defense throughout the year has been pretty good. In the playoffs, it hasn't been that great. I mean, Rashad White rushed for 6.1 yards a carry.
Exactly.
Kyron Williams rushed for 4.7 yards a carry. I mean, it's their run defense isn't as good as it looks on paper. The Niners should be able to run on them. Just stick with the run. That's all you have to do. You just stick with the run. You saved McCaffrey for a reason. Just run CMC. Give him 20, 25 carries. Stick with the run, and you're gonna win. Control the time of possession, because last week you didn't control the time of possession. You were pass happy, and it was a battle. You barely squeaked out a win. I think this game has potential, if the Niners play their cards right, to be not a blowout, but a convincing win, like a 2-score win. I mean, I can really see that if the Niners can control the time possession, run CMC, and if they can contain Jahmyr Gibbs, I can really see that. But I I really think you gotta utilize CMC. And I mean, if you
Did you just say run CMC?
Run CMC.
Have you heard of Run TMC?
Run
Or are you
TMC.
too young? Too young for
Warriors.
that? Huh? Come on, Nick.
2004, man. 2004.
Come on, 2004. Let's see if does Eric remember Run TMC?
I remember hearing about it, but
Can you name the 3 players?
who was it? I'm trying to remember. Mullins. Remember
What
Mullins?
does the T and the M and the C stand for?
Yeah, I can't remember the rest.
All right, that's okay. Basketball law, there's no worries. Does everybody here know what a out and up and what a slant and go route is on a wide receiver?
By the way, for everybody out there, it's Tim, Mitch, and Chris.
That's what it was.
The reason I bring up those routes is looking at Detroit's corners. They are very, very ultra aggressive. Double moves will work on them all day long. Shanny does not call that play very often, but Brandon Ayuk and Debo, for that matter, can run a slant. They're going to jump it and then go out. That's going to be there if Purdy has time. Watch for that play. I see it. They are very aggressive and jump those routes. They're trying to make the big play, and they give up the big play that way. Green Bay used it against them in their Week 12 demolition of them in the Dome at Detroit. Niners should take advantage of that. I hope Shanahan saw that on film, because I did. Out and up, stop and goes.
Key thing is going to be if the pass protection holds up. I mean,
Yeah.
Aiden Hutchinson is a premier pass rusher, and he's going against Colton McKivitz, who is an average at best tackle and pass blocker.
If they run that play, I want Charlie Warner on that side helping him out. And
Yeah, I mean, even George Kittle, just like help out, chip him.
Because I think
Halos, we were talking about linebacker with Oren Burks maybe not being able to suit up tomorrow.
Yeah.
The Niners elevated
Curtis
Snead,
Robinson.
Willie Snead and Robinson as Curtis Robinson as the linebacker to maybe be there for if Burks is not available.
I hope to God he doesn't start. I don't want to see Robinson on the field unless somebody's hurt.
Yeah.
I don't. I love Jalen Graham. He's a rookie. He's really, really talented. But again, check 20 minutes ago. Shanahan does not play young guys. So that'll be that.
Yeah. So
is Elijah Mitchell going to get a carry tomorrow, Bora?
Yes.
Or are they're going to have McCaffrey run 30 times? I mean, what is wrong with McCaffrey running in the slot? And then Mitchell being back there, and then they do. You know what the Niners haven't ran in a long time? The fake jet sweep and run the ball up the middle.
Oh yeah,
I haven't seen that since week.
And how often have we? When's the last time you have seen Juszczyk catching passes over the middle?
Last time Juszczyk. How does that dude love Juszczyk? I love him. Don't ask me to pronounce his name consistent every time. Juice.
Stripling.
When is it? Hajeli. Our fullback is named Hajeli. Hey, God bless Juice. Love him as a fullback, but man, like he makes the Pro Bowl every year, and he touches the ball about 20 times the whole year. Like when I see the comparisons about him and Rathman, do you know Tom Rathman caught 60 to 70 balls?
But Juice is a great blocker, though.
He is. He's a great blocker. I think they should utilize all your weapons. Throw everything at them. When they do a play action and McCaffrey goes out to the left and Juice goes out to the right, nobody's with Juice.
When's the last time we saw an end around to Debo? I feel like it's been a minute. In
been a
2019, that was their go-to play. The end around to Debo. I mean, that was unstoppable, and I don't think we've seen it at all this year. Maybe once or twice. But I'd like to see an end around to Debo. I'd like to see Ayuk get in the screen game or get a rush or something. Ayuk is an underrated run after the catch receiver.
Remember when he jumped over a dude? Was that Philly?
Exactly. That was Philly his rookie season. His first career touchdown was an end around. I mean, they utilized him in the rushing game his rookie season. He hasn't been utilized since. I don't think he had one rush this entire season. I mean, the Cowboys used CeeDee Lamb in the rushing game. You got to utilize your players in the running game, because I mean, if you're just going to run CMC, it gets kind of obvious. And I get you can have this motion and all this stuff in the passing game, but you can also do this stuff in the running game. I mean, get the ball in your playmakers' hands in different ways other than just the passing game. Because I mean, how many times have we seen it? Fourth quarter, Kyle Shanahan, he's down or he's up, whatever. He doesn't get his stars the ball. I mean, we saw it in the NFC Championship game against the Rams, in the Super Bowl against the Chiefs. He didn't get his players the ball. You have too many players to just not get them involved. I mean, you got to get them involved somehow.
Kyle is at his best when he is using, like Boris said, all his players and a good part of his playbook. A lot of his great plays are misdirection. Fake one way, go another. Again, the fake jet sweep, hand it to McCaffrey, it opens up. Then the next time you actually give it to the guy on the jet sweep. Give it to Juice. They could do so many things. The game plan last week, I almost felt like I was watching a preseason game. It was so vanilla. We're going to drop Purdy back 39 times in the rain when they're obviously doing something to stop the pass when they're not that good against the run. So, again, I mentioned at the very beginning of the show, when it was just me and Eric, I said, tomorrow's game is going to be about game planning. If we get aggressive, Shanahan against Dallas, all the plays he had, their third touchdown of the game was a end around flea flicker back to Purdy to Kittle down the sidelines for a touchdown. That's the Shanahan we need to call this game. It is the freaking NFC Championship. Super Bowl's on the line. You cannot go back to your vanilla ways of being predictable and calling a simple game plan. You can't let the clock run out in the first half. Don't worry about what the defense is going to do. Get the damn touchdown. Don't play for a field goal. If we see that Shanahan against Philly and Dallas, Niners win this game easily. 13, 16, 17 points. If we get conservative, Shanahan, it's going to be a tight game again. And damn it, I hate tight games in these NFC championships, because me and Dan have watched a lot of NFC championships, and we can speak for another couple of hours about how many questionable calls have cost the Niners games, or questionable play, or questionable clock management. Don't want it to be a close game. I don't want a split decision. I want a third round knockout, Shanahan.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Go up, get a sack, go up here, and let's go, man.
You know, I think Kyle's going to get a little more aggressive tomorrow. I just have a feeling. I don't know if you guys feel this, but the vibes around this game for me I just feel way more confident rather than last week. I wasn't nervous last week, but there was just something about the Packers, something about Jordan Love that sort of scared me. There was that
look at the
big play ability that sort of rattled me a little bit. But I mean, I just don't see Jared Goff beating the Niners defense. I just don't see it. I think he's played well this season, but I just don't think he's going to play well tomorrow.
Check this out. Look at it this way. The Packers were 6-8. Their last 3 games were must win. They were playoff games for them to get to 9-8. They get in, then they go into Dallas and whoop them. The Niners, in the meanwhile, are coasting, up to Baltimore. They had a cushion because they had basically a two-game lead over, Dallas or Philadelphia or Detroit, who was chasing them. So they lose, but then they come back, beat Washington, an easy team to beat. And, Philadelphia got knocked off and Dallas beat Detroit that night. And so the Niners got the one seed. So they weren't really battle tested at all. Even the Baltimore game was not like, a must win. When you get in the playoffs, it's do or die must win. And the Niners, I think, even though they said they respected Green Bay, they were the 7 seed, and you're the 1 seed. They're 9-8. You're 12-5. Going in, and you're kind of like in your mind, you're kind of like, all right, we got to play, but this isn't like, hey, we're gonna, and then the rain comes. And now all of a sudden the rain's an equalizer, and the Packers have this momentum, and they're young and they believe, and then they get up on the Niners and they're in the game. The Niners keep them in the game, but they're up late in the game. I'm telling you, this week's going to be different, I believe. And why do I believe it's going to be different? Is because I think the Niners got woken up last week and they realized, here's what I believe. And you guys may disagree with me on this. That's fine. I think if the Niners don't win it this year, I think it's downhill. I don't think they continue to climb the hill and then go over it. I think this is their last best chance. I think this team is on the verge of getting older. I see it all the time. This is a team that has to win now. And I think they know it deep down, and they escaped last week. Wouldn't shock me at all if they came out and won by 2+ scores, even 3 scores. Because I think the Niners are looking for their A game that they have not played. I don't even have the schedule in front of me, but I'm trying to remember the last really good game that they played. Was
Eagles.
It Jacksonville?
Eagles.
Well, that's right. Eagles was week 13.
When they play like that,
Eagles.
they can beat anybody, including Baltimore.
So it was the Eagles. Yeah, they came out and you know why they wanted that game too badly. It wasn't just that they just whooped the Eagles because they showed up, but they were emotionally ready to go. And I think with the media, the national media, the narrative that the Niners are not the greatest, Purdy getting whacked around by everybody, it seems like, and the fact that everybody's going for Detroit, wouldn't shock me to see the Niners just put it on them.
It's a little disturbing, and what you said was true, I believe, that you said that they looked at last week and they took that game lightly. If that is the case, then I don't like that mindset at all. You shouldn't be thinking and taking anybody lightly. You're not a dynasty, Niners. Like, sometimes I think the Niners are a little bit kind of arrogant in their own right. Like, if you listen to their press conferences and you listen to them, you think that they've won 2 or 3 Super Bowls by now. You haven't. You've blown a lot. Your sense of urgency should be through the roof. There's no way you should have overlooked Green Bay last week. And if you did, and that's why you came out the way you did, then I'm not liking that mindset at all. Who knows? That may not even be the case. That could just be speculation. Green Bay played well. It was raining, whatever. But I think you're right. I think if they lose again and don't even make the Super Bowl, I don't think Shanahan's going to get fired. York loves him too much, but boy, there's going to be a lot of pressure. There's going to be and it depends on how they lose as well. And this team is getting older, and guys are just going to say, like, you know what? It's not, this group can't do it. It's just, you can't do it. If you can't beat the Detroit Lions at home with, like Boris said, Jared Goff is a good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback. And he's not a mobile quarterback, which always gives the Niners problems. He's kind of made for order for them. If you can't win this game, man, I think it will get ugly. It'll be really, really ugly. So
I think the Niners will win.
Real quick, Carcast has a
to-
question. Let me get into this question. He wanted to ask a question. He says, "What was the real reason we didn't have McGlinchey block Hassan Reddick in the NFC Championship game last year? We had third string tight end Tyler Kroft block the NFL sack leader." That's a question he's been wanting to ask.
Bor, you want that one?
I mean, it's like the play action. You got to sell the run. It just didn't work out. It's sort of, you see it a lot. It's just that particular play against that particular player. It's not something you like to see, especially with how the play turned out with the injury to Brock. But you see it a lot in the NFL and play action, not just with Kyle's system, but tight ends block tight ends block the edge rushers on bootlegs. It's just what happens.
That being said, they cannot have a tight end on Hutchinson.
No, exactly.
They cannot have that happen one time. McKivitz has got to block him with maybe help from a tight end here and there. He is their dominant pass rusher. So hopefully Kyle has learned his lesson. And if you are going to run play action, then you need to have a tackle and not a tight end, much less a third string tight end on their best pass rusher.
An underrated edge rusher for the Lions who's coming back this week. He hasn't played basically the whole season, is James Houston. He is a pretty good player. Last year he burst onto the scene late. Last year he had like 8 sacks in his last 8 games. He's a pretty good player. I'm not saying he's not a game wrecker because he's gonna be going up against Trent, but he's a guy. He's not just a guy. He's someone who you have to be aware of where they are on the field. And that I don't think it's going to cause problems, but there's potential there for, he's dangerous. I'll just put it like that. He's dangerous.
Yeah, that's a good call. I forgot he was coming back. I'm going to go out on a limb. I've been kind of on Shanahan for the last 2 years for a lot of various reasons, but Shanahan is stubborn, but I also think he's extremely competitive, and he's heard all week that he's conservative and Dan Campbell is aggressive. And I think he's also very sensitive. So I'm sure he's heard that noise, and I think he's going to want to try to prove wrong. So I think don't be surprised if the Niners run a trick play or two, along with like what me and Bo are talking about, the jet sweeps, the misdirections, and everything that is a staple of a Shanahan offense.
You know who is going to run some trick plays? Dan Campbell.
No doubt.
You might see a fake punt, a fake kick. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions get the ball to start the game. They drive down the field. They're at like the 10 or 20. It's like 4th and I don't know, even 4th and 10. And they bring out the field goal unit and they run a fake field goal. I would not be surprised. Just to set the tone. Or a fake. Dan Campbell is a tone setter. He sets the tone of how he wants the game to be played. He's gonna go for it on 4th and 5 and less, basically from anywhere on the field. On their own 30, 4th and 3. There's a good chance that he's gonna go for it.
Great chance that the Niners kick off to start the game because Shanahan always defers and Detroit wants the ball. So great chance that the Niners receive the opening kickoff for the second half. Campbell's the type of guy that second half kickoff would onside kick.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember Sean Payton doing that in the freaking Super Bowl, Saints versus Colts. That's ballsy, man. And you know what? I love coaches like that are not afraid to make mistakes. It's just like, hey, we're going to do it. If it doesn't work, I got confidence in our D is going to hold them even with good field position.
And the Niners are 7.5-point favorites. So, I mean, he's really got nothing to lose. He doesn't have anything to lose. He's playing with house money. He's the guy that goes for it. He's the aggressive guy, and that can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing for him. You saw it in the Cowboys game. They went for 2. They got the penalty. They went for 2 again or whatever. They went for 2 on like the 7-yard line, which was just ridiculous. Just kick the extra point at that point. So he's stubborn. He is a stubborn head coach. He's aggressive. It's just something to look out for and something that's gonna happen. The Lions most of the time are gonna be playing with 4 downs. So I think another key is to stop them on the early down, stop them on first and second down, get them into pass situations like 3rd and 6 and longer, 3rd and 7. Make Jared Goff beat you, because if Jared Goff is just handing off and checking the ball down and playing in rhythm, it might be a long game. But if he is under constant pressure, the Niners can stop the run, and he's having to drop back on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8, 3rd and long. I think the Niners he's going to be in trouble, and I think the Niners are going to feast. I can see the possibility of the Niners just coming out, stopping the run, getting pressure on Jared Goff, and blowing this game out. I can really see that, because Jared Goff does not scare me. Really, the only person on that offense that scares me is Jahmyr Gibbs. And if you can shut him down, then I think you can shut that whole offense down. I mean, David Montgomery is pretty good. He was 1,000-yard back this year, but I mean, he's not. I don't think he's super special. He's not special like Jahmyr Gibbs, that's for sure.
Do you send Warner and Greenlaw on a few more A-gap blitzes than normal tomorrow? Not only to get pressure on Goff, but maybe to blow up some running plays. Because they hardly ever do. Last week, they just rushed for basically the whole game. I like to mix it up once in a while.
Yes and no. I mean, yes, you want to get pressure on Jared Goff, but at the same time, Jared Goff does have that check down option. It's always going to be there. Just like Purdy has it with McCaffrey, Jared Goff has it with Gibbs, and Montgomery is he's not a receiving back per se, but he can catch the ball. So Jared Goff has that option to just check it down blindly. And that's something he's been doing this year. He's been playing in rhythm, and he's sort of taking what the defense gives to him. So I mean, I'm not gonna say just blitz Fred and Dre 24/7, but you got to pick your spots. You got to pick your spot. I mean, I would just let Jared Goff beat me. If Jared Goff beats me, then touche. I mean, good for Jared Goff. There's nothing much you can do. Just do not let Jahmyr Gibbs beat you.
And don't be predictable and blitz on only 3rd downs. Like, it's very effective. Like, I can almost guarantee the first play of the game tomorrow is Goff's going to play action. And if you send Greenlaw and you send Warner right up the middle, by the time he's getting back there, he's going to have a guy in his face, and it's going to be 2nd and 17. So I like aggressive blitzing sometimes on 1st down rather than wait the predictable 3rd and long. And again, I don't like when you do the same thing the whole game. When I'm saying blitz, I'm not saying go crazy and be like the Dolphins and when Purdy's first start and blitz like 3 out of 4 plays.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you gotta be unpredictable in a game like this. If Detroit knows, hey, look at this film, man, the Niners never blitz. They rush 4 every single play. You can scheme up against that. And if Goff has time, I don't care if you're dropping 7, they're gonna find openings and they're gonna move the ball. So I want Goff shaken early. I want him hit early so he can know, oh shit, this is This is not Tampa Bay's D. This
Yeah,
is not
because if
Rams
you can
D.
set that tone early,
set that tone.
yeah,
early.
set that tone early. Whatever the tone is, just set that tone early, whether it's on offense or whether it's on defense. Just make sure you set that tone and make sure it sticks for the whole game. Because this is going to be a physical game, and the Lions are super physical. I think, and a lot of these playoff games are won in the trenches. Our offensive line versus their D line, their O line.
They're all one in the trenches.
I mean, yeah, they're all one in the trenches, but I think especially for this game, Detroit wants to run the football. The Niners want to run the football. Both guys want to beat you in the running game. I think the more physical team is going to win, and I think the Niners are the more physical team. I truly believe that, and I think if you can, you got to set that tone and set that tone early, because that tone is going to carry the rest of the game. It's just do not let Jared Goff beat you. I'm going to say, if I said it once, I'm going to say it a million times.
Do we want to get predictions on the game, scores of the game, and then also give me your star player of the game? Who's going to really stand out tomorrow?
Real quick, what about what Carcast says about Josh Reynolds beating you on third down?
Yeah, Josh Reynolds is a factor, definitely.
Third down is the major. That's the down. You don't want anyone to beat you.
Hopefully, you got to hold them to like 3rd and 7 and more, because 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4, that's a pretty easy conversion for them. So yeah, Josh Reynolds is definitely a factor. So yeah,
you're muted, Dan.
I was saying if it's 3rd and 3 and they don't make it, they're going for it 4th and 3 if it's near midfield.
Then there's that. So yeah, predictions and who you think is going to be the star player tomorrow.
I've said all along I'm going to say 38 Niners or 34. I've got them scoring 4 touchdowns and 2 field goals. They score on 6 of maybe 10 possessions. It could even be higher. It wouldn't shock me to see the Niners put up close to 40, because Detroit's defense is, you can move the ball on them. If you look at their scores, they've given up a lot of big points. They've won a lot of them, but I think they lost to Baltimore 38-6. That was the best defense they played. This is going to be the next best defense they play all year. I think the Lions will get some points on the Niners but I think it's more like they get, scores. The Niners defense breaks down at times, especially in the secondary where they, or against the run, they can move the ball. But I'm going to say 34-24. And don't be surprised if it's more like 38-20, 21, 38-17 in that range. And I've got Brock Purdy being the star of the game.
Nice. Eric, what do you think?
34-31 Detroit Lions.
Boo.
And the star of the game, Gibbs.
Oh man!
Get that guy out. Get him out.
Hey,
if he's right, he just gave himself the kiss of death for NorCal sports. He's now Military History Chronicles and Military History Sports channel.
You heard that, chat. If Detroit wins this game and you're interested in co-hosting, send your resumes to Dan Cucciamillo.
If he's right, man.
Could you imagine? Look at Dan. He goes.
You will have some angry people in here on Sunday, or
they will blame it on you, and you know what?
It will me.
It will be a public lynching on the NorCal Sports Network.
How about blame the team or maybe the coaching of the team?
Come on, man.
Not a guy in Galt, California. Come on, man.
What do you got, Bora?
I don't think it's going to be as high of a scoring game as a lot of people think. I think it's going to be 24-17. I think Niners. I think the Niners are going to win. And I think the star of the game is going to be on defense. I'm going to take Diamador Lenore. He's going to have the game sealing interception. He's
Weasel
been playing,
and Galt.
he's been playing great. He is a physical player and he is on the rise. I think next year he could be on the Pro Bowl list, or on that radar. I think he's trending upwards, and he just had a great game versus the Packers. His confidence is at an all-time high. I think he's going to be the star of the game.
So I'm going to repeat what I said 5 minutes ago. I think Shanahan is going to call a great game. I think he's going to finally show us a good part of his playbook that we've not seen in a little while. All the things that we love to see. I think they're going to have Detroit on the ropes right from the beginning. I don't think Detroit's going to have very much success stopping the run or the pass game. I think Purdy's going to have time. And I'm going to say Niners 41, Detroit 21.
I like that. That's kind of
41-21, and I think Ayuk has a monster game because I think their corners are the weakness of their team, and he's going to have like an 8-9 catch for 130, 140 yards.
You know what I'm hoping? I want to see Debo do what he did to Philadelphia and put it on Chauncey, Gardner.
Chauncey Gardner and Debo have been going at each other all year. Do you know if the Niners ran a jet sweep left to right, because Debo's right-handed, Gardner's going to come up so aggressively wanting to hit him. Whoop! Ayuk's going to slip behind him. Gotcha. Touchdown. Debo can throw the ball. He's done it before, so that's going to be.
That would be nice.
I'm telling you, Shanahan's going to pull out 1 or 2 trick plays tomorrow. I'm going against my gut, which. Shanny's conservative, but I think he gets out of his shell. I think he's tired of hearing Los talk about him. So I think he's going to say, F you, Los. Watch this. So 41-21 Niners.
You think he's watching now, Los? Is he watching?
Yeah.
Not at all. Not at all.
I do think that
in there for entertainment.
I do love Debo's attitude when they said, are you going to be, what was the question? Are you
How are you gonna protect yourself when you're as physical as you are? I ain't protecting nothing.
I ain't protected nothing. That tells me, you're gonna be ready. Just shoot that thing up. I don't know if you can put a painkiller deeply into a bruise. Bruises
They'll probably have some like some sort of injection.
What do they give you? Toradol? Is that the pain med now that they use?
Cortisone even.
No.
Look at Senior. He wrote down all our predictions. Eric going with the Lions. Woo-wee.
Hey, got to keep it. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Gotta have one schlep rock on the group.
Yeah, you gotta have one guy that's he doesn't really care.
A weasel.
He's a weasel. He doesn't care if the Niners win or lose. Come on. He's got nothing to lose. Everything to win if he thinks, he picks it and comes back and it'd be like celebrating while we're all, down in the dumps and Eric's laughing. Look at that. He's still laughing. Gosh darn it. I don't want no laughing. Oh.
Me and Eric picked KC in the other game.
Foul number 2.
You guys are picking Kansas City?
Dan Borrow, what do you think about the other game?
I picked the Ravens, but I think I have this theory. Who told me today? Was it you, Los, that the colors for the Super Bowl are purple and red?
Yeah.
They've already picked that?
Yeah.
That's
Conspiracy
weird.
theory.
Okay.
I
here's
want the
thing.
Ravens. I really want the Ravens to win because I honestly think, I think the Niners can beat both of those guys, assuming the Niners move on to the Super Bowl. But I think the fact that the Niners have lost to the Ravens already this year gives them a little better advantage against the Ravens just because they know now what not to do. And they're going to watch the film. They have that game in their film room to see, okay, what went wrong? What do we need to do better? And what can we do better to win? I think that helps them. But I'm going to pick the Ravens to win.
I have the Ravens. I picked them. I kind of want to see the Chiefs and the Niners in the Super Bowl just because I still have that 2019. I feel like, on that play to Tyreek 3rd and 15, such a blatant holding call on Bosa. Eric Fisher had his arm around basically his, neck area and just held him. And the same official that was there, Bill Vinovich, who let the call go, is already been named the referee of the Super Bowl again. And Niners haven't done well with Vinovich. I don't know how the NFL works. Some people say there's scripts, before the season, who's playing, who's not. I don't know how any of that works.
I think that's not the case. My God, but
I hope not.
Michael O'Brien has a controversial statement that you might want to highlight, Eric or Dan.
Let Eric find it. But here's my take
Michael
on
O'Brien.
this.
Which one?
Michael O'Brien.
My take on this is that we've seen Kansas City, Detroit, the season opener. We've seen Detroit, Baltimore. We've seen 49ers, Baltimore. We haven't seen, and we saw Detroit, Baltimore. We saw Detroit, Kansas City. We saw 49ers, Baltimore. The one combination that we haven't seen this year, 49ers, Chiefs. So
it's funny that two teams that have beaten the Niners in the Super Bowl history or in the other games. So there's going to be, if the Niners get there, there's going to be a revenge factor. Put that Michael O'Brien comment again back, please.
Yep.
What do you think of this comment, Dan Bora?
94. He was carried by a 1-2. Oh, he only threw 6 touchdowns in the Super Bowl.
Seifert was crap. Guy has one of the highest winning percentages of any coach in the history of football.
Steve Young was like MVP in 92 and 93. 94, Dion was great. And they had Rice and everybody was great. But 6 touchdown passes? Isn't that still the record? Tied it? Or is it tied now? Did somebody tie it?
No, I think he still has it. I don't think anybody's done for 6 touchdowns. Have they?
I don't know. I don't think so.
That was 3.
Yeah.
Oh, Peyton Manning didn't have a big game. But I think if I'm reading his comment correct, he's saying that Steve Young wasn't clutch. Now, if you're comparing him to Montana about leading game-winning drives, then no, he wasn't. But who other than Elway and Staubach have been dominant quarterbacks to lead game-winning drives? Those are the top 3 in my mind in the history of football. You want a quarterback down 6 late in the game, no field goal, you need a touchdown. I would say we got to throw Brady in there as well. Brady, Montana, Elway, and who was my other one? I can't remember my other one. Those would be the 4. So was he as clutch as Montana? No. But to say that kind of a general statement, I don't agree. And Seifert was not crap. So, and I have watched Montana documentary, so respectfully disagree, Michael O'Brien, but thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Somebody made a comment about the Warriors and free throws. Yeah, they did shoot a boatload of threes tonight. But, what's interesting, They lost by 1 point. And when it happened, I said, they better not lose this game by 1 point. They missed a free throw, the Lakers, and Draymond Green was just stepping in. And I watched the much worse happen later in the game on free throws against the Lakers. That call is never called.
Never called. Yeah.
Never called. And
Curry never gets any calls. He gets hit all the time and they never call.
And his wasn't even blatant green. He was just stepping in a little early as he was releasing the ball. I've seen guys step in before it's even released and they don't even call it. You know, like the guy's not even close to shooting it.
And that's why I say, you know, with the Niners, like the Warriors had a 15-point lead. Like the old Warriors would have extended that to a 20 to 25-point win.
Yes.
This Warrior team lets teams get back in it. So, like I said earlier, Niners, do not let this be a close game, because you can have a referee like tonight's Warrior game that's going to call a lane violation that is never called, and human error is going to decide a game. So Niners, do not mess around with this team tomorrow, because I'm telling you, the whole world and the whole country wants the Lions to win this game. And sentiment is pretty powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do not mess around and let this game be close. Because
I want to call out Mitchell and Ness. Don't anybody answer this. See if he has the answer. He says Curry's a flopper. Watch how many times he just falls down. Hey, Mitchell and Ness, do you know why Curry falls down after most of his shots? Do you know?
I'm going to assume no.
Not just because a lot of times he's not getting hit, but do you know why he falls down? He probably doesn't know.
Because he flops.
No,
he doesn't flop because he's protecting his ankle.
Exactly. He's had surgery on it.
He's had surgery on his ankles, Mitchell and Ness. You got to know that. He falls so that guys don't step on his ankles. And after layups, he crashes down and he rolls. It's intentional. He's not, you see him crying like for fouls every time? No. Sometimes he gets fouled and he's upset and he doesn't get the call because they don't ever call. He gets slightly pushed in the back a lot. And, you know, other guys like Harden, they breathe on him and they call fouls. But
sickening.
He's falling for protection. He fell tonight on a three-pointer and over Davis because he's falling back. He doesn't want to get his ankles stepped on. And if you've had, you know, he's got bad ankles. He wears special types of braces under his shoes. And you just got to know that.
He got hit in the face on a rebound.
That's what I said. 3 points. He falls on 3-point shots because he doesn't want to get stepped on because guys are coming out to block it. And he's had his foot stepped on many times. So he falls away intentionally so he doesn't get his feet stepped on and he's out for the season. Come on. You got to know that. You got to know that, man. You got to know that. You got to know that. You got to know that.
Nobody flops more than LeBron, and he's 275 pounds, and he gets every call. Every call.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, we could talk a lot about Curry and calls big time, but.
Yeah. Yep.
Fox. We got all our picks in and everything. Good to go on the Niners.
Yep. Fox and Curry, they get the least amount of calls. Yep. It's because they're small little guys. And yeah. So yep.
Talk about flops. AD flop. I mean, he doesn't flop, but he whines to the refs every time there's some incidental contact. I mean, it's so annoying.
Him and LeBron are.
Yeah, I mean, seriously.
How about Drake?
Tonight, you would think Anthony Davis was done for the year the way he stays down and limps to the locker room. And then, by some miracle, Mr. Miyagi rubs his hands on it and rubs it for 10 minutes. And here he is coming back on the floor.
Falling to make sure someone doesn't step in your feet seems like a flop. No, it's not a flop. It's self-protection. He's not, you don't see him, like, unless he has been fouled. There's times he is fouled and he'll say, but he goes to the ground a lot to the floor, and he just gets up and because he knows. I mean, if you watch his early career, he was. I mean, if he didn't do what he does now, we would have missed out on 10 great years of Curry. His
Yeah, he
career would have ended.
He would have
Aaron
been
Lost, you're gonna get Dan riled up. Aaron Lost.
What's that?
Aaron Lost says, "Imagine Dan defending Farhan with that much passion." LOL.
Where do I see that? Oh, this one. Yeah, me if defend Farhan. Jeez,
That's not gonna happen.
that's
None of us will.
If that ever happens, that means wow, yeah.
It's time to call it a career.
What was I going to mention to you guys on a couple of signings, minor signings? Adam Frazier, second baseman, signed with
Royals.
Alex Woods signing with the A's.
Carrasco going back to the Guardians.
I think the fact that Frazier's not a bad little player.
What is the world coming to when the Kansas City Royals sign more name players than the Giants do?
They've signed like 5 this offseason.
They've signed a shit ton,
Yeah.
I'm in a good mood, man. I don't want to talk about this. Giants are just
Matthew, I hear what you're saying. Falling is supposed to be a reaction. Being proactive with a fall is he's not flopping or falling as like saying he got hit. Again, he's had his ankles stepped on so many times.
So it's a flop for protection, not a flop for a foul.
Right. Even as he goes to the hoop and he drives, he doesn't just come down and land straight on his feet, because a lot of times the way he's landed, even without being hit, he's hurt his ankles. He's learned to kind of land with a fall just so that he doesn't put all that pressure on his ankles. A flop is when you're barely touching, you throw yourself. Big difference. Exactly, Kyle. Curry's not throwing himself. I mean, we see the Lakers did that notoriously. They got a flop tonight, the Lakers. So what else we got going in the sports world? Anything just NFL tomorrow?
Baseball players got their awards today. That's about it.
Got their what? Awards?
Awards. Yeah, they had an awards banquet.
For baseball?
Yeah, they handed out the MVPs, the Cy Youngs.
But they already announced them a long time ago.
Yeah, it's just they had
they got their trinkets. Who cares?
Yeah.
I can't,
Was Farhan there to get his Executive of the Year award?
Yeah. Yeah. Mitchell and Ness still doesn't. I don't think Mitchell and Ness actually probably knows a lot about the basketball. Maybe he's
Mitchell and Ness is a baseball.
Because basketball, Curry isn't helping his cause by always hitting the floor. He's helping his cause by staying healthy.
Yeah, his name isn't Spalding, so he doesn't know too much about basketball. So.
Yeah. Mitchell and Ness. That's the big streets in San Francisco, right? That's what he's going by, Mitchell and Ness.
Van Ness is the big street on San Francisco.
Yeah, Mitchell and Ness. Yeah. So where did you live in the city, Los?
I lived out by where Larry lived in the Sunset District, out by the ocean, Golden Gate Park, 44th and Irving. Grew up there.
You were out by Golden Gate Park?
Yeah. Oh, I was in the polo fields all the time. I ran polo fields. I took my dog in the polo fields, played ball.
Wow.
At the soccer field over there and ran around. Yeah, I was right by the ocean and by the park. Heard the fog.
So you were pretty much growing up in the late 70s, 80s?
Yep.
Back when it was like really good?
Oh, man, there's nothing better than the Bay Area in the 80s and 90s. It was the best. Absolute best. Loved it. the Beta Breakers, that famous race that San Francisco
Yeah.
has here, ended right by my house, like 4 blocks away at the Great Highway on the ocean. So yeah.
Did you ever walk the Golden Gate?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not too much I haven't done in the city. It's not a big city, so there's a lot of places to go.
Well, I'll you set yourself up for something there, but I'm just going to hold back.
I know where you're going to go with there. No, I avoided that district.
Okay.
I avoided that district.
You put one on a tee for me, and I was just gonna, but I just we'll keep this family.
I'm loving the kindler, gentler Dan Coach. This was a few years ago, man. He would have rammed that one. Oops, wrong word. Bora has no idea what we're talking about.
I'm tuned out.
All good. Well, I think.
Okay. Dan, he says I am an old head. If you've never heard of Mitchell and Ness in basketball, football, baseball, hockey apparel, had you guys heard of that?
Not me personally.
Had you heard of that, Los? Hockey apparel, Mitchell and Ness.
I mean, I don't think he's wrong. They probably do sell other gear, but I believe they're mainly known for baseball. But I could be wrong.
Okay. I'm not much of a into all that stuff, but I do know this. If you've been watching basketball since the TMC days, you should know that Steph Curry falling to the ground, saying not being a good look is kind of an odd statement because he's keeping himself healthy. He's one of the arguably top 10 best players to ever play the game, maybe a top 5 when it's all said and done, and has the utmost respect for everybody in basketball. And for you to come out and say he needs to stand upright and like he'll be better for it, that's a crazy statement in my opinion.
You got to remember too, Mitchell, and that's the NBA came up with a rule a couple years ago where when you're defending a 3-point shooter, you have to give them a place to land when they finish their shot. So that's technically a foul. And a lot of times I see players all up on Curry and he has no place to really land. And I don't see that being called. I see it for other players being called. For whatever reason, Curry is the one superstar that does not get a lot of calls. And he gets hit more than you think. You got to go back and watch the film. So
I want Steve Kerr to go out on a limb and like do a rant like that Raptors coach did. I don't know his name, but he just went off on the officials. Take the fine. You know what? Go out and say something because he's your star player. He's your franchise player.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he didn't have a challenge near the end of the game left, but there was a call, and I'm trying to remember what it was. In fact, I texted you guys. I said, why isn't he challenging it? I think it was a foul call. I can't even remember, but maybe I didn't watch the first half. I was out, so I didn't see the first half. I don't know if Kerr used a challenge in the first half. I saw the whole second half in both overtimes. I didn't see him challenge. So
I like those hats, not the Giants ones, but the ones that were just scroll down below. No, those are all Giants stuff. You had the screen before, had a bunch of
everybody's
hats. Those were pretty clean. Might have to look at that site.
Well, Matthew says he's never heard of it, and he's 75% younger than of the hosts on this show, and have never heard about Mitchell and Ness either.
Gee, I wonder what 3 of the 4 hosts they're talking about. Hey, Bora, thank you for bringing our average age down a little bit.
Of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the average age on this show.
Hey,
You got any younger question. You got any younger brothers, Bora?
No.
How long have you guys had the channel? Just about a year.
Today is the 1 year anniversary of when it first started there, Dan.
Today is?
I did
Today,
not
you
know
started
that.
it January 27th. We didn't start our first shows until March, but today is the 1 year anniversary.
Oh,
Thanks for
well,
asking, Car.
Happy
it was
anniversary.
actually, I guess I just got it up and running, but we didn't do anything with it until March, right?
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
But it's 1 year.
Wow. And where are we at sub-wise, Eric?
We are at
About 1450-ish?
right around there. 1,461.
Wow. We got to get to 1,500.
Be nice.
CarCast, we once in a while put the link in the chat, and we invite people to come on the show.
Yeah, let's kill the Mitchell and Ness. I'm not interested.
Oh, yeah,
in
sure,
this.
sure. I'm just taking a look. I'm just taking a look.
Oh, okay.
You can choose to show your face, or you don't have to, but we do that once in a while.
Oh, thank you, CarQuest, for subscribing.
Appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you.
Mitchell and Ness says it's been around since 1904. Gosh, I never heard of that brand. Have you, Bora?
He's
You're
muted.
muted. Oh, he's on the phone.
I don't know. I don't think so. I might have vaguely seen something about it, but no.
Huh. Maybe I've seen it in somewhere. Is it on Pier 39 in that sports shop? Is that?
Sounds like a TV show from the 80s.
Huh. Yeah.
But I didn't know they had gear like that. I might have to look at that site. I saw some nice stuff.
I like
They
the
got some
retro
throwback-
kind of stuff.
They got some, they got some throwback stuff. Yeah.
That's cool.
No, there you go. Says it right there.
They have the
They
nice
some
throwback
jerseys.
jerseys. Oh, that's their thing. Okay, throwbacks. All right. Well, like I say, I have never really been into buying jerseys, but maybe I'll have to look at that. Can we celebrate by firing Farhan? Call Larry Bear and tell him he has to help us celebrate. Yeah. Somebody brought up a point somewhere. I saw it. I don't know if it was in a tweet or what. It says, why do people continue to blame Farhan when it's the owners that keep him around? Shouldn't we be really just all over the owners? And because Farhan's going to, he's doing what the owners kind of have asked him to do. They obviously approve of his work. They gave him a 3-year extension.
Hey, Kyle, I saw that interview Larry did, and I don't think he exactly named the channel. They didn't believe that Larry had interviewed Casey Schmidt for over an hour. Woolard and Dibbs didn't believe Larry. He goes, yeah, I interviewed him. And they go, oh, they were on your show? And they go, no, they were on Danny Cochimilio's show. But I don't think he actually named the show. And then he said, yeah, Danny has his sidekick over there. It's like, can you give Eric a name, man? Call him
It's all good. I don't care.
I know. I just thought it was kind of
What was
funny.
this? I didn't hear this. What was this on?
This was on Willard and Dibbs yesterday. They had Larry on to make his prediction for the Niner game. And somehow I got on to baseball. And Larry was saying, well, we've been saying we don't want Mac Chapman because we all like Casey Schmidt. We like his upside. And then they were asking, like, how do you know Casey Schmidt? He goes, well, I interviewed him for over an hour. And they were like, and Willard was like, you did not talk to him for an hour. No, you didn't. He goes, yeah, I did.
Yes.
He goes, how? He goes, well, it was on Danny Cochimilio's show. I have to go back and watch it, but I don't think he actually said it was on NorCal Sports Network. There would have been a great opening to give a plug. And instead he said Danny Cochimilio's show. Go back and watch it. I don't think he gave the name.
I never knew that was.
And then he added to it. It's like, yeah, he Danny's got his sidekick over there. I'm like, man,
It's all good. It's all good. No worries.
Can you do
And
it
I'm
properly?
just the dude.
Properly say, yeah, NorCal Sports Network interviewed Casey Schmidt, and I just happened to be on there, and that's Danny and Eric and Los and Bora once in a while are on there.
You looking for it on
That would have been the
95.7,
proper
Dan?
way to say it.
I haven't looked for it yet.
Oh.
I'll look for it. It's probably on their video from yesterday.
Yeah, it's on their. Just go to YouTube and go.
I'm gonna have to change my name. Hold on.
Go to
one second.
95.7.
Sidekick.
I will be right back.
Sidekick, yeah. He he basically Larry had a batting practice fastball to really take NorCal to a pretty good spot, and he fouled it back. Don't worry. I mean, he was kind of put on the spot, so I'm not calling him out. Just it was a little humorous.
It was a phone call. Was he?
Yeah. That he called in on whatever
Let me.
line they have. It's just go to the Dibs and Willard and Dibs show. I'm sure you can find
Sidekick Weasel.
You're gonna laugh when you see it, man. It's like, oh yeah, he's got his little sidekick over there. It's like, man,
whatever.
Hey,
Oh,
the next time Larry comes on, Eric, tell him, oh, and joining the show,
No, I'm not gonna.
Sidekick Kruger.
No, I know he didn't mean any harm.
I know. Just as a joke, he can take it. He can take it.
I found it, or Larry talking. So let me.
All right, go for it. Hey, real quick, Los, this is
Yeah.
kind of old school.
Yeah.
Do you think you know the famous quote, offense wins games, defense wins championships? Is that still hold any weight today or not so much in today's NFL?
Good question. No, in today's NFL, it does not carry as much water because the rules have just not allowed defensive players to do what they used to be able to do. They used to be able to hit the quarterback and not really get a flag. They used to be able to hit wide receivers and not get a flag. It was a much more physical game in the 80s and 90s. And when you had a really strong defense, you could win a Super Bowl, win a championship with a very average quarterback and a very average offense. It's been proven before. But nowadays, that's not the case.
Because of
my proof is the Niners have arguably the best defense in the league in 2019 when they went against the Chiefs and stopped them for 3 quarters, and then they did it in the 4th quarter. Last year, the Eagles had 72 sacks, and they gave up, 37 points to Mahomes. So
right,
defenses
not so much anymore.
are not as big a deal anymore.
Yeah, it's an offensive-driven league now.
Look at the timestamps down there, Dan. I got it up on the link. Oh, he can't hear me. Dan can't hear me. He's got the timestamp on there.
Get his attention.
He doesn't have.
He's looking down. Or text him. Everybody in the chat say, hey, Dan. There you go. Ah! Yeah. You know, we have technology.
I'm right up to it. I'm actually listening.
All right, cool.
We have technology. We can shoot ahead to where we need to.
Oh man, that's funny.
Dan has the old VHS in, and he's slowly going through it.
That's awesome. Hey, I'm getting a little bit of recognition.
Man, why did you get the name recognition?
Oh yeah, the NorCal should have been out there. NorCal Sports.
Yeah, he should have threw it out there. When they kind of pushed him on it, he just said, oh, yeah. He was over there on Dan Cucimilo's channel. There he comes, Dan. He heard it.
Okay. It starts at the 1850 mark. He says, Casey Schmidt, I talked to him for an hour 3 weeks ago. That's where it started.
Yeah, it was an hour and a half. He stayed on our show for an hour and a half.
Yeah, that's where it started.
Oh, it would have been great if he would have said an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was. It was an hour.
How long ago was it? About a month ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. Here, I can look it up right now. Wow.
No, they kept pressing him. You'll hear they keep pressing him, and he said it was over an hour. It was over an hour.
Let me go back to it. I gotta mute. So,
hey, thanks, Kyle. You just got us some overtime on the channel, man. Going with the proving what Larry said.
You know what? Angle. Hey, Dan, do you want me? Oh, I don't know if he wants me to play it on here. Yeah, I wonder who booked him.
Yeah. Hey, he did get credit for that. That was Senior, right?
Yes.
Yeah, great job, Senior.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Senior should have got a shout out. Senior should have got a shout out.
He should have. Absolutely. Yeah. We couldn't have got that done without
the help. As a matter of fact, I have a very good memory. He said, this is what he said. He said, I don't know how Danny got him on his channel, but he did. He did say that. Watch.
Fair enough.
Dan's listening to it. Look at his facial reaction. Look, he's smiling, man. You can hear it. He's like, oh yeah, he's got the sidekick over there. Wow,
He
Dan.
got sidekick.
See, Dan loves gossip, man.
Oh, he does.
You could be ready to call it a night. Hey, Bora, how many times has Dan? Here, let me do my Dan impersonation. I'm feeling kind of tired. I'm gonna go get some tea. Let's call it a night. Hour and a half later, trivia or gossip or something. Look
Boom.
at Dan. I got my second win. I got my second win. Come on, man.
Yeah, see, you got it going on. Come on, man. You just said it.
Yeah.
I got him. Do you hear Dan? You hear how many times he says, I'm telling you. Remember how he used to mess with me saying, oh, Eric always saying, I'm telling you. Yeah, he says it all the time.
What are the top 5 things said on NorCal Sports Network? Exactly. Come on, man. I'm telling you.
And they all came from.
What else? Those are the top 3.
Those are the top 3.
Some of the originals that have been here with us from the very get-go. What else do we do one of us say continuously?
And it all came.
Those 3 for sure.
And they all came from me. They all came.
Come on, man. And exactly. You got to replace exactly with correct or right or something.
Right.
Because I catch myself saying exactly.
We got a plug. We did get a plug. NorCal Sports.
He said that.
Yeah.
He
said
said
the great Dan Coachemilio. But he goes, I don't know how he booked him, but he booked him. It was over an hour.
Yeah. It was over an hour. It was an hour and a half.
Okay.
That was a guy. For those of you in the chat who haven't seen it, go check it out. It's on the YouTube. It's on the channel. It's a great interview with Casey Schmidt.
Did you hear the sidekick comment, Dan?
I did. Yeah, he's got. Who else was anybody? Well, and Danny had his one of his sidekicks with him.
You know, Batman. Had a Robin. They called him Robin. They didn't say, "Hey, Batman, who are you running around Gotham City with?" Oh, my sidekick. Oh, man. And no, I'm not Catwoman either.
Was it just the 3 of us in there?
It was me, you, and Larry.
Okay. Yeah, we were going to bring Lawson too, and it would have been great, but it was like we kind of felt like if we had 5 of us in there, it'd be a little overwhelming.
We didn't want to overwhelm them. Yeah, for sure.
But
it was a great interview, though.
I mean, shoot, we might do it again. I've got his number right in my phone.
There you go.
I'm trying to get Will Clark on here too. Will, if you're out there.
There you go.
And if Will's not available, then his brother Tony.
How about
I know Tony.
Oh yeah,
Clark,
Tony
too.
Clark. Yeah, he knows Tony. Yeah,
I know Tony well. I just don't have his phone number anymore. It's been we were neighbors, and I used to, we used to talk in the neighborhood.
You have Logan's number too, don't you?
I have Logan Webb's number.
Yeah.
But I won't give it out.
No.
I don't bug him.
No.
I'll get I'll get a hold of the Thrill sometime. I'll get him on here.
That'd be awesome.
Bora, Bora, can you hear me?
Yeah.
How many sacks do the Niners get tomorrow?
14.
14.
No.
Hey, I'd be happy with 3.
Like 2. I think they're gonna get 2.
I think they get more than 2. I think
I
they
don't
get.
think so.
I think they get
I wonder
3
what the
plus.
over-under on
3.
that is for a prop bet.
I think they
Dan,
get,
I'll bet you.
by the
I'll
way-
bet you $5. Dan, I'll bet you $5.
that they don't get
Ooh.
that what they don't get 3
Yeah.
or
No, Bora says 2, that they don't get more than 2.
That they
Okay.
get no more than 2.
5
Yeah, $5.
or 10.
5.
He goes
Okay.
5 or
He's a
10.
college student, man.
Just
Yeah.
you got my Venmo, right?
I got your Venmo. Yeah.
Okay, just
Do you have
send
my
it now.
Venmo?
Yeah, I've got your Venmo.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
Yeah. The
You know
only
what the
Venmos
crazy-
the only
somebody told
Venmos
me-
I needed though was Will B and Will Martinez's Venmos. They're the only ones that were in the money.
Oh, well, you guys are here. Come on now. I'm gonna push it. I gotta do it here.
Don't
Since all
talk
4 of
fantasy.
us.
No fantasy
all 4 of
baseball.
us.
No,
all
we're
4
not
of
doing.
us. As a matter of fact, I gotta get rid of 1.
Who? Matt B?
Yeah.
What? How come he just decided no?
Yeah, he didn't want to spend the 50.
Smart man, Matt. I'm holding out. Boris is my agent.
Los?
No,
What?
Los ain't gonna do it. He's got his own big leagues, man. He's in a $1,000 league.
We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So
Come on,
I have,
guys.
I have a good football
know.
question
I'm
to
gonna know.
maybe.
Hey, Bora, if they get
Yeah.
5 sacks or more, will you double it?
Yeah.
Okay, because
If they get one, will you double mine
if they only get one
or 0.
Yeah. or 0?
or 0, yeah, I'll
Yeah.
double yours.
It
If they
becomes a
don't get any more than 1, so
All right.
2 is you win $5. If they get 0, 1, or 2, 0 or 1, you get 10. 2, you get 5. 3, I get 5. 4, I get 5. If they get 5, I get 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a great football question to maybe end the show, depending on Dan, of course. I think he's getting close to the end.
I could have ended this hours ago, but it's okay. I'm just a sidekick tonight.
Oh, God.
You know what
No
he should
one,
have said?
no one can be the side. I'm the sidekick.
You know what Larry should have said that would have been funny if he had time to think about it. He could have said a joke. Larry, how did you talk to Casey Schmidt? Well, I went on Eric Romo's show and he had a sidekick.
Oh man, that's funny.
The Eric
There you
Romo show. That kind of sounds. The Eric Romo show actually sounds like a pretty good.
See, he could have said my name, but he can't pronounce my last name.
Well, he said, you know what? We're all sidekicks. He said one of his sidekicks. So we're all sidekicks,
He said
right?
one
Isn't
of
that what
his-
he said? One of
Yeah,
them.
one of his sidekicks. Yeah.
Oro were 3rd and 4th wheels, bro.
According
to the great Larry Krueger. Here's the football question.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
good question.
we should do some trivia. That'll fire us up.
Oh Lord, here we go.
That's all.
Look at Lois. Looks at the clock. He knows that's another hour.
Trying to
He's
get a
like,
good
"No
night's
way."
sleep before football tomorrow, man.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Hey,
I'm
the
gonna have to
games
go to
don't
bed
start
soon,
till
too.
what time does it start here for? 1 o'clock for us tomorrow, Los?
Yeah, no worries, man.
Yeah.
No worries, man.
Yeah, 12:30.
1 o'clock, man. We could
definitely
sleep in.
a little. Let's
Sleeping
try to get
in.
in a quick gym workout. Okay, here's the question. Since we're on the eve of the Super Bowl, no.
Oh, wait. I gotta do something real quick. I'll be right back. Hold that question.
Gotcha.
I got something I need to do. 1 sec.
Oh,
Do not
here
eat
we
by
go.
midnight.
Here we go.
Don't be aggressive.
Real quick, Los, before I get into that, we have to shout out senior son Charlie. It really was his home run that did it. As far as him and Casey, I guess, got a pretty good relationship. So that helped a lot. Senior son Charlie, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, right on, Charlie.
Matter of fact, I don't know if you watched it. The clip that we played of the kid hitting a home run. That's Charlie. That's Senior's kid.
Oh, that's
was awesome.
cool. That's a great hookup. Yeah, we're big Casey Schmidt fans.
Absolutely, man. That's why it's gonna piss me off if they sign Chapman. It's really gonna piss me off.
I mean, when you get to know a guy as more than just a professional player, you get to talk to him for.
I want to look like Los.
Oh man, you guys.
I like that.
I like the
that
orange.
black and orange. That's clean.
Yeah.
That's very clean. I like
That's
that.
nice, huh?
Yeah.
And here's the one Trent Williams wears.
Where did you get it from? What website did you get it from? You're gonna have to text that to me.
The same one you probably got it from. There's
I
only
can't remember
one.
where I got this from. To be honest,
It's the gosh, I get emails from them all.
it's a Bay Area site.
Yeah.
It's an emails. I just had one tonight. And
Didn't you buy it when you were in San Fran, Los, or did you buy it online?
I bought it online.
Oh, you did.
And
I know Graves knows what it is if he's still in there. Yeah, Regency 3, this one.
R3. Oh, wait a minute. What? Oh, region.
Oh, residency. That's it.
Hold on. Let me write that down. R3. Okay. Yeah, because I like that. I like that gold and red, the one you got on now. That's clean.
This one, yeah.
I like the red and white one too.
One of them is this the one that called the candlestick? Because they said the candlestick's coming back or something. They got him back. I don't know.
Anything with candlestick, I'm all for.
No, it's Los. It's the Mark Graves. That's the right one. The second Mark Graves comment. It's the residency with the 3 in the last.
That one?
E. Yeah, that one.
Oh man.
I think so. Yeah. It's RESID.
RESCPET.
Whoa.
Here is the football question. Are you ready? Man, you put me on hold too long.
Go ahead, man. I just wanted to look like you. Don't be mad at me, man. I just want to be like Tito La Fuente.
Duplication is the ultimate form of flattery.
Yeah, there we go.
Adversary. You overcome adversary. Good call there, Johnny. I love it.
So on the eve of the Super Bowl, who were the 3 best quarterbacks in football history to not win a Super Bowl? Who were the top 3 quarterbacks?
Is this subjective or is this?
This is subjective. This
Okay.
is not a trivia question. This is subjective. And in anybody's opinion, I'll give you mine first and tell me if there's.
Well, I got one right off the top of my head that I think
Yeah.
you're thinking
I think
of.
everybody has the same one.
Dan Marino.
I think
Dan
everybody will concede Dan Marino's probably number 1.
Yeah.
Probably, as long as I've been watching football,
I got
not winning Super Bowls, just the ability to throw a football. Every throw in the book. I don't know if I've ever.
I got Jim Kelly. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's number 2 for me. It would be Dan Marino and Jim Kelly would be 1 and 2. Number 3 was the hard one. I had to think about it because there's a long list of some good quarterbacks, and I just quarterbacks. I came up with Dan Fouts.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Good pick. Good pick. I like that. I like that over Fran Tarkington, what I'm seeing in the chat, and Warren Moon.
Warren Moon.
Dan Fouts was awesome.
Yeah.
There's
be some other ones that I missed. Bora, you know your football history, even though you're.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
You don't? Oh, sorry.
How about
I saw some.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
I saw some votes for Randall Cunningham. Phillip Rivers, Boomer Esiason. Yeah. I'll tell you, a sleeper is Kenny Anderson, Dan.
I thought of Kenny Anderson. I was going to tell you with the Bengals. Yep. I was just going to mention him, and then I thought, let's see.
I think Moreno and Kelly are unanimous.
Kelly. Yeah, Kelly.
Kelly lost 4 straight. God, that's brutal. Brutal. And the first one he should have won. Wide right. The third one is the hard one because for me it's Dan Fouts. Dan Fouts was amazing.
Yeah, I think it's yeah. I mean, Dan Fouts, Tarkington's up there. He wasn't great. He was a good quarterback for the Raiders, Darryl LaMonica, but he wasn't great. Probably you could put maybe Matt Ryan in that category too. He was pretty good for a while. Won an MVP.
Phillip Rivers is a good one.
Yeah, Phillip Rivers. Some people will say Randall Cunningham. Michael Vick's out there. Trying to think of anybody else. It's okay. Let's do this. Who are some of the 3 of the worst quarterbacks to win a Super Bowl? How's that?
Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
Jimmy says McNabb. Brad Johnson.
There you go, Brad Johnson.
Brad Johnson. Definitely. He was an average.
Keefanov.
Would you put
12.
Flacco in there?
Foles?
Yeah, Nick
Flacco
Foles.
had 1 or 2 good years, really. That Super Bowl still pisses me off. God, the Niners D played so bad in that game.
The Hostetler. Somebody said Giants quarterback. Jeff Hostetler won.
You know who I don't think is a really great quarterback? Old school. He didn't throw a lot. They ran the ball 80% of the time. Bob Greasy. Was
Yeah,
Bob Greasy a great quarterback? He handed it off to Zonka and the other guy. Like,
he won. How many did he win? 2?
yeah, I think so. They're like 10 to 12 passes a game. No, Joe Namath is not. Joe Namath was a really good quarterback.
He just got the knee. That knee was just.
Can't be Namath, Carcast. Namath was pretty dominant, man. That's a good counter question. Dilfer, Brad Johnson, and who was the third guy?
Well, there's like
Flacco. Oh, yeah, I like
Flacco, Nick Foles, Jeff Hostetler. Jeff Hostetler won one, filling in for Phil Simms.
That's right. Yeah. He was.
I think, Johnny T16 thinks Trent Dilfer has to be the worst. I think it's between Johnson and Dilfer the worst, personally.
And that goes back to your question, Eric, about defenses winning, championships and being important. Yep. Guys like Trent Dilfer could, win. He was part of that 2000 Baltimore Ravens defense that was so dominant. Ray Lewis in his prime. They gave up like 9 points a game that year. 9, the average. I'm still pissed I didn't win fantasy football that year because my team was loaded and they flamed out in the Super Bowl. God, I had Dante Culpepper, I had Randy Moss, God, Ravens D.
Yeah.
Mark Rippon.
What's the top? You want to do? Let's see. Do I want to do a Chardal top 5 or do I want to keep it to top 3? 3, yeah. Top 3 most memorable plays. Not so much moments, because a moment could be, wide right for Buffalo, at the end of the game. But 3 plays that are just like unbelievable in the Super Bowl that stood out to you.
The Steeler that did a 99-yard.
You just got the one I'm thinking of. That's one.
99.
I got 2 more in my head that just popped in. Same game, really.
Are you thinking the Kurt Warner game-winning touchdown pass or something?
No, I'm thinking the one the Steelers guy caught, the guy from the receiver from Ohio State. I always forget his name.
Oh, yeah, not Warner. Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't be in my top 3. I'm trying to think of a spectacular play, like a wow.
I got one for you. Marcus Allen running all over the field, reversing and going in for, I can't remember how long that touchdown run was.
Marcus Allen.
How about Garrow, your premium, having his field goal blocked? Dan, your field goal kicker, so you know that. And then Dan, Coach Emilio, trying to pick it up and throw it.
Yes. You know what? Jimmy just came up with one I forgot as a top 3. I think it's number 1.
That was a great play.
That you can do that. You could do that throw 1,000 times, and I don't think you could duplicate it. Do you think you could duplicate that one? The way it went down, try the same thing 1,000 times, and I don't think you can do it.
Janet Jackson's wardrobe malfunction.
Oh, gosh.
Nice, Cliff.
Well, that's what they asked. We've got a clip of that. Ryan, we put together a clip, and he was asking some of the players what's their favorite Super Bowl memory moment growing up, and a lot of the players in the 49ers brought that Janet Jackson moment up.
Oh, wasn't it that collage of different stuff throughout the year? I think that's what it was, wasn't it?
What's that?
For Ryan. The video.
Oh yeah, the collage. Yeah, we
Yeah.
put that together for the Giants actually.
No
We-
way. Is
we-
that true? Carcass? Namath threw more interceptions than touchdowns in his MVP year? No way. Really? Wow. That's some knowledge if that's true.
Well, you know what?
They gave
Ron
an
Elway's
MVP,
helicopter was pretty impressive. Yeah.
they gave an MVP to a guy that threw more picks. Wow. That is very surprising if that's true.
When I was a
Well-
kid, the one that really stuck on my mind is when in the Super Bowl with the 85 Bears, when they always handed the ball off to the fridge and he just trampled over people.
Ditka got that idea from Walsh. Walsh is the first one to use an offensive lineman. He used Guy McIntyre in the backfield.
Yeah. But the fridge was just,
And
it
he
was
used
the
it
fridge.
against the Bears. So Ditka was pissed and used Fridge, who was 360 pounds. To be honest, I don't know why more coaches don't do that. Like, hand the ball off. Did you guys saw the Twitter or the X video of the rugby guy running through people?
Yeah, I was the one that sent it out. So that's Will B.
Yeah. So I don't know why coaches don't do that more often on the goal line.
Take a look at Namath's 66, 67 seasons right there.
Hand the ball to Trent Williams.
Look at that. Look at the interceptions.
7 interceptions. That's a
He's
lot
not
of
a Hall of Famer, is he? He's not a Hall of Famer, right?
Joe Namath?
No.
Yeah, he is. Oh yeah,
He
Yeah,
is?
He is. Yeah.
He had
Yo,
more
but-
interceptions than touchdowns almost his whole damn career.
Scroll down to his career totals. Look at that.
Oh
Look
my
at the touchdown to
God.
interception ratio.
Wow. Oh, man.
Look at that.
220 interceptions and 173 touchdowns.
Where's
Wow.
the
Is
that
interceptions
right?
on there?
Yeah.
Where's the
173 is the touchdowns, 220 is the interceptions.
Wait a minute.
Oh, wow.
Oh my goodness. How do you
Carcass,
do that?
Great knowledge,
How
man.
do you do that?
How do you do that? Then you're in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I'll tell you what, Troy Aikman, if you look up Troy Aikman stats, like he's supposed to be known as one of the most accurate quarterbacks in NFL history. He's obviously got 3 Super Bowls. That's what's got him in. But if you go to his stats on this page, he threw almost as many picks as he did touchdowns in his career. That's for a guy that's supposed to be so accurate. I debate that with Cowboy fans. Like, I'm like, your quarterback relied a lot on Emmitt Smith, man. Like, he was accurate and he made plays in big games, but his stats don't say Hall of Famer. His stats.
165 touchdowns in his career, 141 INTs.
That's not a great rate.
He had one season with more than 20 touchdown passes. One
Right there.
season.
Yeah. That's
1992.
statistically, that's not a Hall of Fame quarterback. But when you win 3 rings, I guess.
You know, it's pretty crazy how when you look at that, when you look at Joe Namath, what got him in? His brashness of saying they were going to beat Baltimore? Is that why you think because he was so brash? And
Namath was a Hall of Famer with the women. That's where he
yeah,
was.
Nick says it right there. He's a Hall of Famer because of a prediction. Yeah, he made this crazy prediction when the AFL was like nothing compared to the NFL, and Baltimore was this like juggernaut powerhouse. And he makes this prediction. Maybe there is a little fixing going on, and all of a sudden that created just within a year or two, the merger was created. That was Super Bowl III, right?
Yeah.
Was it 3 or 4?
3.
No, 4 was Kansas City, Minnesota. 1 was Green Bay over Kansas City. 2 was Green Bay over Oakland.
The Raiders.
3 was the Jets over the Colts, the Baltimore Colts, not the Indianapolis Colts, the Baltimore Colts. 4 was the Chiefs over the Vikings, Hank Stram, head coach. 5 was the Colts on a last-second field goal by Jim O'Brien, beat Dallas 16-13. 6 was Pittsburgh over Minnesota, I believe. 7 was Miami. No, Dallas over Miami, 24-3, I think. 8 was that the Miami perfect season?
That's going way back.
I think 8 was. I'm doing this off the top of my head, by the way, guys. I'm not looking at anything. 8, I believe. Somebody look this up and tell me where I go wrong because I'm going to miss it at one point. 8 was, what did I say? Miami over Washington, the Redskins at the time.
You're making Bora feel very young.
9, let's see, 9 was, wait a minute. Maybe I messed up on 6. I said Pittsburgh. I don't think Pittsburgh got there yet. Wait. I don't think Pittsburgh got to 6. I think it was it Miami in 3 in a row? Yeah, Cowboys beat Miami in 6. 7, Miami came back, beat Washington. 8 might have been the Pittsburgh started.
That's great.
What are we laughing at?
In case after you name every Super Bowl, name every U.S. president.
Who said that?
Eddie K with the line of the night.
What is it? Where is it?
Eddie K is 24. There you go.
Oh, name me all U.S. Okay.
Hint, hint, hint.
Oh
Thank you,
man,
Eddie K. I didn't have the guts to say that.
It's fun to do the Super Bowls, though, man. I could go. I used to.
It's
I
really
think
not.
I think I know them all. I used to. I probably the ones I can't remember are some of the more recent ones because I just don't read as much as I used to. When you took away, when you used to have newspapers, I think you were smarter because you picked up something. There's a difference of reading something in print versus digitally.
I agree.
I used to know everything from just the newspapers back and forth. But anyway, I don't know. Somebody asked, can you do a quick? There's only 50 in the chat, but Eric, can you do a quick poll, real quick, and guys, answer as fast as possible because we're going to end this show like in the next 3 minutes. Do you guys want us to do a halftime show tomorrow for 5 minutes, 10 minutes live update with a correspondent that will be at the game tomorrow?
Baller's going to be at the game. Told me he got tickets.
Oh, Sean's going to be at the game too. That's cool.
Oh,
Baller will be there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So just it'll be a short show. It's just to get a live.
It's out there.
Feel. All right.
Easy.
It's out there.
Want a halftime show? Yes or no?
Yeah. Just a quick. It'd be a 10-minute show. Because I'm not missing a play. Lord willing, I'm not missing a play. So yeah, the Sporting Green, that was awesome. I love the Sporting Green. What'd you like?
I remember the Sporting Green. I used to get bagels with my mom on Sunday, and we used to read the Sporting Green together.
Let's see, the Examiner came out on Sunday, right?
The Examiner was the afternoon newspaper. The Chronicle was the morning paper for a while.
Oh, was that what it was? Okay.
Yeah.
I only got the Chronicle was the Sporting Green, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the Sunday paper, or the pink section, was where the movies were.
So which papers did you read, Los, growing up?
We actually subscribed to both Chronicle and Examiner. It was interesting to have an afternoon paper.
Funny because we didn't subscribe to the Chronicle. I had to go pick it up somewhere. We subscribed to the Oakland Tribune and the Contra Costa Times. I lived in the East Bay, so
my dad would always tease me and say, "Why do you when you pick up the paper, you always go to the sports section and go, why don't you read the business section?" And then I started reading it when I was around, reading all the stocks and mutual funds and everything like that. That's when I started getting into numbers and ultimately into mortgages like I am now. So yeah, thanks, Pops. Fine. Otherwise, if he didn't get on my ass about that, I would have been a sports writer or something like that. But yeah, just got into numbers and business finally.
Johnny,
Hardly ever read the news, the front page, because it was just always depressing, man. It's just another murder, another rape, or just I don't know. And now you got fake news on all these media outlets. It's just I don't like to watch it. I should watch it more just to keep up to date with things. That way I could be when I go on Military History Chronicles, I can know more. Big plug for Eric, not a sidekick. Eric Romo and his sidekick on Military.
Yeah, my sidekick Will.
Hey, sidekick is a big thing now, man. Gotta mention that to Larry.
Yeah, so people who grew up in the South Bay probably were getting the Mercury, huh?
Yeah, San Jose Mercury. Oakland Tribune was a good paper too.
Yeah, I mean, I Dave Newhouse was a writer for the Tribune, and then he also later became a, pretty big guy on the KMBR Sports Phone 680. He was one of the original guys.
68.
The
Oakland Tribune was like that was a large building in downtown Oakland. It's like forever. When you drove by on 80, you'd see the Tribune on the building in downtown Oakland.
CarQuest says, "Do you all know where Daly City is in California?" Yeah, everybody knows where Daly City is. Yeah, I've been to Daly City.
A lot of Filipinos in Daly City.
A lot.
Great Filipino food in Daly City.
I transferred $60,000. I was buying a home in the Philippines. That's brand new home. It was like only 60,000. Nice home. And I needed to get the money there like right away, because to get the deal, the price was going up like by 5,000 the next day. I'm like, how can I get this to the Philippines? And there was a bank in Daly City. There was, I think it was, I'm trying to remember if it was Bank of the Philippines, one of the banks. I can't remember which branch, but we walked in and put a remittance center it was there, and we got the money into the builder's account. And yeah.
Hey, Bora, for a big game like this, do you prefer watching it kind of like alone, or do you like going to like a somebody's house or to a bar and watching it with a lot of people?
That's a great question.
Normally I like watching all Niners games sort of in a chill environment, but I'm gonna be hanging out with some friends tomorrow. So
I hate watching a football game in a bar or with a bunch of people where I can't hear the sound and the commentators and everybody's yelling and screaming, and it's like they're not even. I feel like most people who watch games there, they're just kind of not real.
I'll tell you the worst though. The worst is when you go to someone's house and you're watching it, and someone who's like clueless about the game is just constantly asking you questions.
Yes.
Oh gosh,
that is a great call. Jesus.
Yeah. Is Mark Graves still in the chat here? Mark, you out there?
That is why I do not watch football with my wife. Like I tell her, please leave the house. Go. Here's the keys. Go drive.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of, I
don't want to be interrupted. I only want to watch the game with people that know and understand the game. Oh, that's a great call, Bora. Man.
Mark Graves, there he is. He's coming over tomorrow to watch the game with me.
Nice.
You want to come over, Los?
What are we eating tomorrow?
I've got some spare ribs that are being thawed right now. We're going to put them in the slow cooker in the crock pot. We may put some pork ribs in there too.
I'll let you know. I'm supposed to go to a friend's house down the street. He's supposed to do a barbecue, but he's flaked a time or two. So I'll let you know for sure.
All right, guys. So how'd our poll end up? We're going to close this show.
Got 23 votes. 65% say yes. 35% say no.
All right. Okay. Well, those 35, if we do a show, I guess those 35% won't show up. So that's about, but if I do my math right, 23 votes. So at 23%. So what are we looking at? 6 people, 5, 6 people, 6 people, maybe. What is it, like 17-6?
Something like that, right?
Was the
Did you say
total.
35% or
35.
23?
Yep, 35.
Said no?
Said no. 35%.
Oh, that's about
no.
8 then. That's 8 out of 23. That means it's 15
Oh,
to 8.
Mitchell and Ness is from Redwood City. Sequoia. I know Redwood City and St. Croix.
Oh, come on, Jimmy. Jimmy, you go back that far? Oh, wow. Jimmy. I remember when Dan ate dog food on Larry's channel.
Did you?
It was food,
A
human
dog treat.
It was human food grade.
He did.
And Larry goes, "Come on, take a bite." You know, Larry had me going, and I was like, it was
The
human
best
grade.
was completes, though. The best was completes.
Yeah, we used to do the completes. You weren't an early follower of the Krug channel, were you, Los?
Oh, the completes.
Well,
were
I've
classic.
known Larry from KNBR.
Okay,
I
the
wasn't
early days of the Krug show, the first
Woo.
6 months were,
Mayhem.
pretty rough.
I mean, no, we had some comedy.
Yes.
Larry had me one night literally rolling on my side on the couch. I was just cracking up. He was doing an impression of Hutch, you know,
Starsky and Hutch.
Hutch Gaming.
Oh,
Yeah, it was so funny. We were just, oh man, MF, I might throw up before kickoff tomorrow. That would be a mess. MF, that'd be a true mess.
Well, remember, that was another thing we always said, relax. Relax. Remember how many times that was actually during the baseball season?
Yeah, relax. Oh, I bought a shirt that said relax.
Oh, Straw Hat Pizza. I had one in Tracy. Used to go there all the time.
Straw Hat Pizza. I used to go there. You know, we used to go to Straw Hat Pizza on
Hutch
Clayton-
Serves Gaming. I forgot
Yeah.
about him. The
Or
whisper,
I'm
remember,
gonna-
remember when
The
Larry
whisper.
would,
I'm gonna guess for it. You have some kind of pizza and wings as a combination at
"Oh,
your
did you
friend's
like
house.
the 49?
I have no clue what it's going to be. So we'll
Straw
see.
Hat Pizza.
Are you getting over there just for the Niner game or for the early game too?
I've yet to decide that. That's because I'm gonna go to the gym before.
Oh, you're back in
Yeah.
Orange County now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got back at like 7. That's why I was late today. I got back.
I don't know,
today at,
MF.
Like
Okay.
7 p.m.
So it's January
I used to love talking
27th.
to that guy.
Do you know
How'd you like going through Sky Harbor Airport in Phoenix? That's a big ass airport.
I've been there before though, so it was easy navigation.
Southwest?
Yeah.
Were you in
Terminal 4.
the D gate or the B or what?
It was D. It was like D7, I think.
Oh, D7. So you didn't have a long walk, probably. Your flight was next flight was in the D section too.
I walked out, took a left, and then another left, and like right there.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Walked out, left. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I've been to Sky Harbor so many times, man.
Too many for my liking.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, here we're gonna head out. It's 12:25 here. Everybody have a wonderful night. Rest of it. If you want to catch up, we may do a little quick halftime show. We may not, depending on how things are going and how I'm feeling and all that stuff tomorrow. We'll throw it out there. But you guys have a great night. Go Niners. And hopefully tomorrow night, I'm on Larry Kruger's channel hyping up a victory.
Hey,
And
Dan, were you thinking of coming on here before Larry? Because usually Larry takes a while before he goes on. Were you thinking about
You know
it?
what? We might do a little quick show. It might be might be Los and Bora. Maybe and you and Eric, and maybe I'll come on for a little bit, but I got to save up my I can't
Energy?
do too much. I got to save my energy. Yeah.
Bora, Lois, if you guys are up to it, let me know and I'll
If I'm available, yeah. I don't.
We'll
I don't know
we'll
if
throw
I'll
one
be-
out there and we'll
well,
get
Los
out
maybe
there.
will be your place. Who knows?
But Los is it.
Make sure
Internet?
when you Larry show you mentioned the sidekick angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, I'm your sidekick.
Just call me
no,
Tonto. Just call me
No,
Tonto.
no cutouts tonight, Los, on the internet.
Yeah, your internet looked good.
I told you we got it fixed today. So whoever the joker is that always mentions I have to get a reverse mortgage to get internet, no idea. I read
The
everything.
truth is, Los did get a reverse mortgage this past week.
I haven't got paid on it yet, but it just started. So hold that thought. Maybe a month from now you'll see me in HD and everything. Will be real fun.
Hey Dan, that senior says, how about a pregame show?
Nah.
Wouldn't be busy barbecuing too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be like just finished watching there's not a lot of time between the AFC title game and the NFC title game. The AFC will end about 4, maybe a little after 4. Here.
And then, yeah,
Here,
and then
'cause
it's
it starts
4:30
at-
for you guys.
Starts at 1, and then the Niner game starts at 4:30. And I like to watch the pregame stuff from the networks. So,
Man, I
There you
hope
go.
not, Cliff. I hope not. I don't want to be pissed
oh
off.
man,
I'll tell you what, I just may have to come on. If they sign Matt Chapman tomorrow, I may just have to come on.
You go ahead. And
No, you know what you guys should do.
all 8
You
of
guys,
will be watching if it's during the Niner game.
no, if they sign Matt Chapman, you should do a separate show for the Giants and just not mention him at all. Just like it's like the Matt Chapman not signing. Just don't even mention.
Like we don't even
Acknowledge it.
recognize them.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Bora, I got a question for you.
Hmm.
Are you sitting in your chair?
He's relaxing. Yeah, he's
like
kicked
this
back.
with your knees up?
Yep.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do that.
Dan's gonna pull something. He's gonna pull something.
He's gonna pull a disc.
He's gonna pull a groin.
Hey, wait till we get this show set up.
So none of us have ever met Bor in person. If we had to guess how tall he is, his height, what would you guess? What would you guess, Dan?
By looking at him right now? I mean, by just looking at Bora,
his weight, his height.
I'd say he's like 5'12". And no, I'd say he's I think he's 5'8", 153.
I forget. Wait, Eric, what do you think height wise?
I'm gonna go 5'10", probably 155.
Man, I said height. You guys not listen.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
this
just gonna
is-
go. Just
You're
gonna go.
gonna piss him off if you call him 160 and he's like 175. I was gonna say like 5'11.
I'm like 5'9", 5'10".
No.
Romo wins it.
Mhm.
Well, how much you weigh?
Like 140, 145.
Oh,
Just-
Wow.
Mhm.
I was only an inch off. He said 5'9", 5'10", so that means he's 5'9", because guys don't,
I haven't measured myself in a while.
I bet he's 5'8.5", and he stretched himself to 5'10". I bet he's 5'8.5". Stand up.
we can't tell.
No, we can tell.
We can't tell. You can't tell.
Um,
Look at
we
Dan.
can't see it where his head ends, but I think he's 5'8.5". I bet you if I bet he's 5'10" to the top of his hair.
Well, it's like right there.
He just smashed 2 inches down. Look,
Don't doubt Tonto. Don't.
I
doubt
don't have any
Tonto.
gain to put in my, it's like, I don't have, a couple of inches there to push down. So, you said you batted right-handed or lefty. I take you as a lefty. You look like a lefty to me.
Right.
Still right. Why do I keep
No,
thinking
he's said right before.
he just looks like I know he said right, but he looks like a guy that could hit.
What
and
does a
run.
lefty look like? That's interesting.
I'm trying.
What does a lefty look like? Oh my God! Now this is going to be another hour. What does a lefty look
Way
like?
to go, Los.
A lefty looks like he looks like
A lefty.
Like the nose features, the eyes, like
No,
what's
it just-
in a lefty?
just a guy that looks like he just kind of and pop that ball out there and run like hell.
Interesting.
He looks like he's got speed, and he looks like a fast guy from
The next
from
baseball
home to
show,
first.
next baseball show we do, we should have at least 10 guys come in, show their face, and you have to guess which one of them is a lefty. That will be fun.
No, it's going to be
Oh
9
my-
righties and 1 lefty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like that thing where people go, "Which one's singing?" and they're doing they're all lip syncing, and they've
Yeah.
got like 8 people.
So 10 guys, 8 guys, whatever, come on, show their face, maybe talk for a few minutes, and then we have to guess which one of those guys are lefties.
What do you
I bet
think of that comment, Matthew or Bora?
That's disrespectful.
Ain't no 5'8", 5'7", maybe on a good day.
It's all fun and games.
Are you? I bet you're 5'8.5". Am I onto something?
I don't know. I haven't measured myself in like a year.
What was
Man,
the last?
we got Tank Dell on our show, man. 5'8". Tank Dell's about that size, isn't he, Bora?
Right?
Hey,
This
Bora,
is great. This is great. You're right, Kyle, man. If there were odds, man, you'd win all the time when I say over. Take the over, man. Sometimes I'll surprise you though and say we're getting out of here. Like the other night, we did a 23-minute show.
Yeah.
That was good. It was good. It lasted that long. I was done at 8 minutes. Seriously. No, it's an Italian thing. My mom and I are the same. I love it. Yeah. Italians. Yeah. We can just get going. And then it's hilarious. Growing up as a kid, my grandmother, we called her Nonna, Italian. She said, you want some spaghetti? How about some meatball, Danny? How about some? No, Nonna, I'm good. Just 8, I'm fine.
Close, over under
Hey,
30 minutes.
all of a
Real quick, with that's another thing, real quick. I gotta know this.
You're real quick. You're real quick, not me.
Kyle McKiernan. Tell me where the McKiernan clan grew up in Italy. Tell me where the McKiernan clan grew up.
Maybe it's his
in
mother.
Italy.
It might be his
Oh
mother.
yeah. There you go. Okay, mom's
His
side.
mother
There you go.
probably is
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Mrs. She was probably at one time Miss
It just seems weird. just seems
Antabelli.
weird.
She might have been Miss Antabelli or something.
Hi, Kyle. You're
little-
you're such an interesting lad. Fuck you.
But my nonna, she'd say, "You say no. You can't say no to your nonna."
Would you like some shepherd's pie?
everything was on the plate, and then you had to sit there and eat it.
Would you
but-
like some haggis?
Yeah. All right, guys.
Oh,
Have a great
man.
night. Go Niners.
Bang, bang.
And we got the residency. There it is. I like that black one. This black one represents the Giants, so the orange.
Mhm.
I
I'll
don't know
trade you
where
this black one
Niners
for
hat
the
is.
one you have on now.
Really?
Yeah, I'll trade you straight up for that.
Bianchini.
None of us have. We don't need. I know you don't have lice, and I don't have lice because we don't have any hair.
Is your hat fitted or is it adjustable?
It's adjustable.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, no lice. Yeah.
No lice.
Next time I see you, bring that hat.
Come on
Oh
over
my
tomorrow,
gosh.
man. Come on
All
over. if
right,
you don't-
everybody.
All right, guys. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow, and check out the Krug Show tomorrow night. Hoping for a powerful, big show with 5,000 people in the chat with a
It may.
celebration. As long as Eric's prediction doesn't come through.
Sidekick Weasel calls it.
Sidekick Weasel gonna be, oh man. All right. Good night, everybody.
All right, I'll see you guys. Woo! 34-31 Lions! Is that what you're
Wait a
trying
minute.
to do?
I was trying to end the show. We don't end the show that way, guys. No way. Not on my channel. Jeez. Scratch that.
41-21 Niners. Remember
You know
that.
what? I might give you a real one. I might just give you a real one, man, for that thing.
Look at the, when I hit that, I was looking at you in the green room. It's like you didn't know what to do.
I'm looking, how do I stop this doggone close? Because, all right, everybody.
All right.
Thanks for joining. What was your final score, Los?
41-21.
Thank you. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you. How do I end this thing? Where's the music? Put the music in there and shut up. Don't say another word. I mean it.
We're out here.